I think the only wisdom that's left in me is I have both my wisdom tooth in place. My wisdom teeth are in place.
All 4 of my wisdom teeth have been taken out.
लोगों को लगता है नौकरी नहीं मिली होगी या छोकरी नहीं मिली होगी.
On both fronts you are doing very well. Did they say don't go?
I ran away.
You eloped.
हे माझं प्रेम प्रकरण होतं सर. कुछ लोग ना अपने सपनों के लिए अपनों से दूर रहते हैं और कुछ लोग अपनों के लिए सपनों से दूर रहते हैं. अपने सपनों को छोड़ने में भी हिम्मत लगती है. अपने सपनों के लिए अपनों को छोड़ के जाना, I did it. और जो अपनों के लिए सपनों को छोड़ देते सर, उनके बारे में कौन बोलेगा? काही सोल्युशन आहे का? मी त्याला म्हणालो, अरे वेड्या, सोल्युशन असतं तर मी साधू का झालो असतो. 2019 I took 280 flights that year. 280 फ्लाइट्स म्हणजे माझेच फक्त आता पंख यायचे राहिले होते. ते स्टुअर्डेस म्हणते वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड सर, वी गॅरंटी टेक ऑफ. मी म्हटलं लँडिंग मॅडम, मी साधू आहात ना, करा प्रार्थना करा लँडिंग साठी. आपण बसायला विसरलोय.
How beautiful is that?
Pausing was not with the purpose of something. Pausing was with the purpose nothing. Just sit. We need to be more in order to do more. If you just do more without being more, it's burnout. And that's exactly why we are called human beings, not human doings.
What's the most mischievous thing young Gaur Gopal did ever?
One time in my life, I have to confess, I picked up that keychain. मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ, पल दो पल मेरी जवानी है, पल दो पल मेरी हस्ती है, पल दो पल मेरी कहानी है. पल दो पल का हूँ सर मैं.
But that's humility. JioLEAP is all about inspiration, and in the past we have delivered inspiration through an amazing lot of men and women, and the focus was through their knowledge, experiences and views. But today I can easily add wisdom to that list. And I do hope that after our conversation there is a little bit of wisdom that I can take back, just to show off to my daughter that from now on I'm a wise man. That's my hidden motive.
I feel flattered, but I think the only wisdom that's left in me is I have both my wisdom tooth in place. My wisdom teeth are in place. Wisdom is questionable, we'll see.
Oh my God, mine. All 4 of my wisdom teeth have been taken out.
Mine are in place. But thank you very much for having me, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I'm very grateful and delighted to be here at JioLEAP for this opportunity. And I think I like the term JioLEAP because it's taking that leap, right? Taking that leap from where we are to where we need to be, where we want to be,
correct,
where we could be, where we should be. And I like that statement you made the other day that Shri Mukesh Ambani ji said that this is about be more and do more.
Correct, sir.
I liked it. I really liked it because we need to be more in order to do more. If you just do more without being more, it's burnout. If you just be more without doing more,
selfishness.
It is just selfishness, and it is just non-productive. We can get nothing done, right? Can get nothing done. And that's exactly why we are called human beings, not human doings. Can you imagine? We are constantly doing. Today the world has become a world full of human doings. Right?
And we've forgotten that.
And we have forgotten that we need to be. We are a human being. So when we come from the space of doing to the space of being, it's like an arrow being pulled backwards. The arrow being pulled backwards is not being pulled backwards for no reason. It's being pulled backward. It seems it's going backwards, but it's gathering all the strength and the power to arch forward with double the power. Right? So a state of being, when you come from the state of doing to being, it's like going back. And what do we do with that? we can do way better. So this whole idea of be more to do more is a combination of human being and human doing.
Yes.
It's being and doing.
Absolutely.
So I really love that idea, to be honest.
Yeah, thank you. I will surely convey that to him. In today's life, what is going back now? I mean, that analogy is fantastic because it just tells us that it's going to be, by going back, you're going to create something much more, right? What is going back? Is it stopping? Is it pausing? Not necessarily go back in your life, but you need to do more, and hence you need to do something which is analogous to going back, like the arrow.
Correct. I think going back is about taking those moments to pause. Because the mind is just too active, sir.
It is.
When people are working, they're coming back home with work. And when they go to office with home. When you're coming back home, you're bringing office at home. And when we're going to office, you're taking home at office. Is there a moment in time when the mind is not carrying something? You know? So at home, I'm stressed about work. And at work, I'm stressed about home.
Yeah.
We are living a life of constant pressure and constant stress and deadlines, competition. I mean, the word deadline, what a word it is. By the time you cross the line, you know what happens. You're dead. Right?
We never looked at it that way.
Has somebody ever said, "अरे माझी ना या ऑफिस मध्ये माझी एक लाईफलाईन आहे." आपण कधी म्हणतो का?
नाही म्हणत.
आपण म्हणतो मला ना एक डेडलाईन आहे. कारण ते लाईन क्रॉस करता करता काय होतं माणसाचं? Dead. So if you see the whole system we are a part of, a system of doing, a system of achieving, a system of gaining, we do see that it leaves us with absolutely no time for connection and reflection.
So pause to reflect.
Pause to reflect. So when we pull that arrow back, like you said, you know, when we kind of, analogous to pulling that arrow back, is taking those moments to pause on a regular basis. That pausing could be for just doing nothing.
That is also doing something.
Unwinding. That's also doing something. Imagine, तुम्हाला आठवत असेल की आपले आजोबा आजी, आता इथे मुंबईला ना एक नाना नानी पार्क म्हणून आहे. तिथे ते आजोबा आजी जातात आणि नुसते बसतात होते, काही करत नाहीत. आपण बसायला विसरलोय.
How beautiful is that?
आपण ना नुसतं बसायला विसरलोय.
Stillness.
नेहमीच काहीतरी करायचं असतं. नुसतं बसलो तर काय, कोणीतरी गप्पा तरी मारायला हवं ना. असं कसं काय? नुसतंच कसं बसायचं?
Or the phone
नाही
comes out.
फोन हवा, वर्तमानपत्र हवं किंवा टीव्ही चालू हवा. काहीतरी चालू असलं पाहिजे. नुसतंच बसायचं कसं? कारण नुसतंच बसणं म्हणजे ना, वी गेट अ बिट अनकम्फर्टेबल.
Correct.
काही करायला नाहीये, माझी व्हॅल्यू आहे का काही? इफ आय एम लेफ्ट बिहाइंड, काहीच नाहीये करायला माझ्याकडे. एम आय युजलेस? And then when we are just sitting like that, we are also confronting a lot of uncomfortable stuff from inside. विचार येतात. आपण गप्पा मारतो ना, तेव्हा जे काय आपले प्रॉब्लेम्स असतात ते मागे जातात ना.
Correct.
टीव्ही बघताना whatever problems we have are going to the background because it's like a drug.
Correct.
A conversation is like a drug.
It is.
You just anesthetize for a moment. I don't feel anything. I'm busy with the conversation. I watch a movie. I see some show on the web. It's like a drug. I forget it for a while. My social media feeds, scrolling through those reels, it's like a drug. Suddenly when you stripped off all of this आणि नुसतं बसायचं की लगेच मग सगळं कळायला लागतं, जाणवायला लागतं की आत काय आहे. You know? So a lot of people don't want to do that.
Don't want to because it's uncomfortable.
You have to confront everything within, right? पण तुम्ही बघा ना, आपले आजोबा आजी म्हणतात, I began with that. असेच बसायचे, नुसतेच बसायचे, बघत बसायचे नुसतेच. There's nothing. Pausing was not with the purpose of something. Pausing was with the purpose of nothing. Just sit.
It was part of their life.
Part of their life. Just sit. Just sit. Comfortably sit without doing anything. For some people, pause could mean to reflect. Which is now I've taken this break to just sit down and reflect on what I'm doing, reflect on my life, reflect on what's going on, reflect on how I can get better.
But reflection is not thinking, because thinking can be a problem. Reflection is analysis. It's not
Reflection is analysis. It begins in thinking, right? We can't separate thinking and reflection because thinking with a direction is reflection. Thinking with no direction is just thinking, overthinking. If I give a channel to my thinking, then it can turn into reflection. But if I don't have the channel to my thinking, it's just all over the place. Like I think, अरे किती छान आहे, पाणी गरम आहे. तो माझा माणूस ना आज सकाळी केवढं गरम पाणी करून ठेवलं होतं नाही. तो माणूस तसाच आहे तो. त्याला ना काही करताच येत नाही. मग कोण नवीन कोण शोधू का? कुठे मिळणार? हो, मागच्या वेळी मी त्याला भेटलो होतो, म्हणणार ना माझ्याकडे आहे असा माणूस. थिंकिंग. गरम पाणी आहे. गरम पाण्याने काय काय फायदे होतात? गरम पाण्याने डायजेशन सुधारतं का? गरम पाण्याने माझा रिफ्लक्स बरा होईल का? की रिफ्लक्स वाढेल? चॅनलाइज थिंकिंग, रिफ्लेक्शन. You see the difference? In same thing, one leading to overthinking, one leading to reflection.
And reflection becomes useful.
Reflection becomes very useful.
Overthinking is waste of your energy.
Overthinking is waste of our energy because they say, no, worry is like a rocking chair. It keeps you going and takes you nowhere. So it just keeps you going. Keeps you going. It's not productive. So some people will pause to reflect.
And then after reflect, what should we do?
Yes. So there is pausing. Then there is reflecting. I'll give you an example. At one point in time, I was doing like, in 2019, I took 280 flights that year. 280 flights.
My God.
280 flights म्हणजे माझेच फक्त आता पंख यायचे राहिले होते. माझेच पंख येतील. आणि ते सगळे एअर होस्टेस आणि ते सगळे ओळखीचे झाले सगळे. एकदा मी प्लेनवर आलो ती
सर युअर हॉट वॉटर.
हा नाही, ती स्टुअर्डेस म्हणते वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड सर, वी गॅरंटी टेक ऑफ. मी म्हटलं लँडिंग मॅडम, मग साधू आहात ना, खरा प्रार्थना करा लँडिंगसाठी. So I took 280 flights. It was a very busy year, extremely busy year. And that's when I realized that it's not just important to keep running, although it's running with a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was running with a purpose.
Prabodhan tha. Prabodhan.
But you needed to pause.
Even
Why?
you needed to
Even
pause.
I needed to pause out of those 280. Not that I wasn't pausing in my travel. I was having my sadhana. Nevertheless, an exclusive pause was needed. Why? Because there were certain symptoms in my health that travel was showing up. Correct. I mean, you know, health problems don't discriminate whether wearing this robes or wearing what robes. COVID didn't say that Gaur Gopal Das is a sadhu, so he doesn't get COVID. Anybody gets COVID. Right? Health problems are health problems.
No
Body
rich,
is a machine.
No rich, no poor.
No rich, no poor, no monk, no monk, everybody, right? So at that point in time, to pause, to look at what my needs were. What was it that I needed? What was it that I was doing it for? Pause was to reflect. Reflect was to experiment. After reflection, I found out if these are my needs, if at this point in time I need a bit more of rest, then I need to experiment and act on it to give that rest. If after my reflection I realize at this point in time connection with people is more of my need, then I need to take steps to prioritize that connection with people. If along with my reflection I kind of come to a conclusion that maybe at this point in time I need to work harder, I will need to work harder. Because in that reflection is when I'll find out what is my need. In running around, a lot of times we don't find out what our need is. We only look at our wants. We don't look at what we need. You know?
And that's where I think distinction between reflection and thinking happens. Thinking is all about wants.
Yeah.
You know, in that case, I want a new person to serve me water.
Absolutely. Yes.
And need is that I need warm water.
I need warm water.
For digestion.
Correct. Correct. So I think in a world that is running so fast, लोग क्या सोचेंगे इस सोच में हम कुछ यूं उलझे जा रहे हैं. लोग क्या सोचेंगे, इस सोच में हम कुछ यूं उलझे जा रहे हैं, दिल करना कुछ और चाहता है, हम किए कुछ और जा रहे हैं।
Wow.
सोचते हैं वक्त बहुत है हमारे पास, अभी क्या इतनी जल्दी पड़ी है, अभी औरों के हिसाब से जी लेते हैं, हमारे पास तो सारी उम्र पड़ी है। दिल और दिमाग की इस कश्मकश में, दिल और दिमाग की इस कश्मकश में जिंदगी के पन्ने बड़ी रफ्तार से पलटते जा रहे हैं। इतना तो जिए भी नहीं हम साहब, जितना हम बेवजह रोज मरते जा रहे हैं।
Wow.
You know, so people don't understand where their needs are because there's no pausing. There's so much running to keep our wants, address our wants, to keep up with the pressures, to keep up with the deadlines, to keep up with the competition, to keep up with the endless aspirations we have, that we forget that there is a life to live. We forget that there are real needs to address. You know, sometimes those needs are very personal, sometimes those needs are family needs, sometimes those needs could be financial needs, you know, whatever. But to be able to really reflect
And experiment.
and then experiment. So it's pause, reflect and experiment, right? But because when you experiment is when you come to know this works or this doesn't work.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And then if it works, oh, we must do it. I often say that I like to recommend this 4-hour framework. First hour is repeat what has gone very well for you. If something's gone really well, repeat it again. Right. Second, refine what was average.
What was average?
Was good, average. Refine it, make it better. Repeat what went very well, refine what was average, rectify what went wrong.
Nice.
Right. And the fourth R is reject what serves no purpose any longer.
How nice.
There are things that have served their purpose. There are things that have outlived their shelf value. Bas.
The last R is so difficult, sir.
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Very difficult. The Buddha, he told a story. He said, there was a man who was moving from point A to point B. Point B was his home. And when he was walking towards his home, on his path there was a river. And he had to cross the river to go to his home. Now when he came on the banks of the river, he realized the flow, the current is very strong, the river is very deep, there's no boatman, swimming is not an option. How do you go? So then he found some bamboos lying there, some straw. Using all of that, he made a raft.
Okay.
And then using 2 bamboos as an oar, he himself crossed the river. But when he made that raft, he thought to himself, my God, this raft, I created it. It has helped me so much. Maybe it will help me in the future. So he put that raft on his back like a backpack.
Okay.
It was a huge raft. And he moved forward. Then he came to a jungle which he needed to cross to go to his home. But in the jungle, in between every 2 trees, there was only space enough for a human being to go. So as he was crossing that, the raft would get stuck everywhere. Now he had only 2 choices. Leave the raft behind and move on, or keep the raft and stay where you are. And life brings those situations for all of us a lot of times. It has served its purpose.
Reject the raft.
Reject the raft. It has served its purpose. If it has served its purpose, it no longer adds any value in your life. It's occupying your precious mental space. Take it out. So, repeat what's gone great. Refine what is good or average. Rectify what's wrong.
Reject.
And reject what is... All this happens in reflection, sir.
And then and all this happens in the
reflection
umbrella of reflection.
Reflection.
And then the beauty would be when to stop repeating and when to reject what you've repeated often.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where wisdom comes in.
Absolutely.
And that's where reflection will help you.
100%.
Saying that now just don't keep repeating this.
Correct.
It was good.
It was good,
but
now it serves no purpose. Now it's time to let it go. Absolutely. And you can't build anything new without that. You can't build anything constructive, anything meaningful.
And then you can't be more and do more.
You can't be more and do more otherwise. Yes, absolutely.
So that rejection is the most important part.
We have to. And that holds true for relationships. That holds true for habits. That holds true for patterns, that holds true for strategies, that holds true for projects, that holds true for everything in life. That it was very valuable at a certain point in time. Aaj, it is not adding any particular value. In fact, it's becoming a liability. But because I created it, it's mine. There's so much attachment that I want to hold on to it and not let it go.
And that is when people and organizations and countries stop being resilient.
Correct.
That's when the downfall happens.
Correct. Absolutely.
Of an individual, even an organization.
Absolutely.
Where you
Absolutely.
don't reinvent yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
It's so difficult, sir, to let go because, giving up is so painful and letting go is joyful. But the journey from giving up to letting go is a process.
Absolutely.
But is that how you turned to Monkhood? We'll talk about Monkhood because we need to know.
Right.
But was that curiosity or what was it that brought you to
What was it that brought me to Monkhood?
Monkhood? Did you have to reject something?
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever people talk about my monkhood, I tell them, लोगों को लगता है नौकरी नहीं मिली होगी या छोकरी नहीं मिली होगी.
But
नौकरी का problem या छोकरी का problem?
on both fronts you are doing very well. I don't know about the chokri part, but you did engineering. You went to one of the best schools in the country, and I'm saying that with great pride because you went to COEP in Pune,
I did.
My city. So I'm going to score a few brownie points for my association here. But and then you joined Hewlett Packard.
I did.
As an electrical engineer.
Yeah, I did.
And then one fine day you said, enough.
Yeah.
What were you rejecting, sir? And what were you curious about? What were you wanting to experiment?
Yeah. I think we are a society of getting answers, sir.
Answers.
Answers. You're always wanting answers to questions, isn't it? You see, examinations today across all educational boards and systems are all about answering questions. Your HR teams in your organizations is all about interviewing, getting answers to the questions you ask. You go to, somebody goes to meet a boss, it's all about answering the questions that the boss has. You come back home, it's about answering questions that kids have, your partners have, your spouses have. I think we've become a society of answering questions.
You're putting undue pressure on me now. I should stop questioning you now.
I'm answering questions. Answering a lot of questions constantly. And yeah, funny questions and answers. Sometimes like a teacher asked a boy in class, which state of India are you from? He said, Arunachal Pradesh, madam. She said, can you spell it for me? He said, I'm from Goa actually. Who spells Arunachal Pradesh? I think in my journey, there was a point when I was inspired by asking questions more than finding answers. Life's journey is not always finding answers to questions. Life's journey is about also asking questions to the answers that are existing.
Questions to the answers.
Questions to the answers that are existing. The answer that I'm given in the society is success means money. What is success? What's the question? What is success? Answer, money.
Money.
What is success? That's the question. What's the answer of stable family? What is success? Question. Answer is reputation, fame. Answer. Existing answers. A narrative that is already built. A narrative that is already existing. And this is the narrative that is being promoted across the world as the means to live a stable, happy, fulfilled life. Right? So we are always seeking answers to questions. How many of us are questioning the answers that exist? You know, there was a Nobel laureate, Isidore Rabbi. Izzy was his, they would call him Izzy. When he got his Nobel Prize, reporters in New York asked him, Izzy, a lot of your friends who grew up in the same neighborhood as you are lawyers, bankers, accountants, accomplished professionals. You became a scientist and today you're a Nobel laureate. What differentiates you from them? And Isidore Rabbi said, whenever we would come back from school, all the kids in our neighborhood, their mothers would ask them, did you answer the questions rightly? When I would come back home, my mother would ask me, did you ask the right questions to your teachers today?
Wow.
Right. And that is a problem of a society who stopped asking, who stopped questioning, who stopped challenging. A society that just accepts things as status quo. But when you start looking at your own life and meaning, you start questioning. So my moving away from mainstream to pursue my current life as a monk was asking questions, sometimes tough questions. Right? And people don't want to ask those questions. You know why? Because the answers are kind of uncomfortable. I asked myself a question, can I see myself doing what I'm doing at HP for the rest of my life? Answer was no. For most people sitting here, the answer is a no. If my answer is, I don't see myself doing this job for the rest of my life, is the answer when I question myself, it's an uncomfortable answer because if I don't do this, then what do I do? Where do the bucks and where does the money come from? How does the family run? How do the EMIs be paid?
I need to be productive.
How do I accomplish? How do I succeed? They're very uncomfortable answers. Right? So I think that's what it was. The answer was a no. I don't think I see myself doing this.
Okay.
So naturally the question would then be, what do I see myself doing?
Correct.
And the answer that came up was, I don't see myself just working with machines and systems and organizations where it's all about, kind of mechanistic and technology. I see myself working in the space of people.
People.
Yes, people. So then would it mean studying psychology, psychiatry, people, no? Dealing with people. Behavioral sciences, varieties of subjects you could study. And that's when then I realized I also have some interest in spirituality. What if I combine my interest with spirituality with this answer? That I'd like to work in the space of people. Right. So the combination of those two resulted in my interest. I had interest, but active interest in spirituality. And then you come across company of people who are very highly educated, who are monks. But you're already reflecting and thinking, and then you see there is a standard and a precedent of someone who has questioned and has taken this path. And that requires a lot of courage, sir. फार हिम्मत लगते सर.
No, but
सगळं सोडून ना असं मागे.
Moving from mainstream to monkhood.
It's not moving from engineering to medicine, from medicine to management, from management to being a YouTube influencer. It is just completely just moving out totally, right? Lock, stock, barrel.
Yes.
I think, sir, when people reflect and think, when they question and they find those uncomfortable answers, then you have a choice. Choice to stay where you are or to follow what your answer tells you. This holds true for relationships too.
Correct.
Right? There's been a problem with that relationship and you've questioned yourself whether this is going right, whether this is going wrong. Then there are certain answers, there are uncomfortable answers. Now you need to say whether I need to stay or I need to move. Needs courage. Staying needs courage.
Oh, yeah.
And moving needs courage as well. Right? I've been doing a job and I think now I need to have a startup.
Huge courage.
I've asked myself those questions and the answer is I need to start something on my own. Continuing to stay in the job needs courage. Moving out and picking up that startup takes courage. Right? I asked myself that question, can I continue with this job or should I go live this life as a monk? Continuing with that would need courage. And also moving on and
far more courage.
Needs courage. So it's just a question of which of those aspects of courage we are willing to take up and live by. There are so many people who may have questioned and gotten answers like these, like I did, and stayed back home and continued to do what they did. That was courage too.
Sure.
That was courage too.
For their own reasons.
For their own reasons. Somebody who left a job to pursue a startup career, courage. Somebody who kept it there and continued their job required its own kind of courage. Because the desire and the ambition was there. So I really think we have to kind of choose what is it that we want to live by. And each one will come with a collateral damage.
Correct.
If I continue to choose to live in that relationship for social reasons, the collateral damage is toxicity. If I choose to move out of that relationship and step out, the collateral damage is missing out on what I had. If I choose to move out of my job and take a startup, the collateral damage is I'm on my own now and I don't have anybody to kind of handhold me through this. If I continue to stay in the job, the collateral damage is I'm not pursuing my dream. You know what I mean? So everything is going to come with something. I chose this. मी किती वेळा बऱ्याच पॉडकास्टमध्ये सांगितलंय हे माझं प्रेम प्रकरण होतं सर.
It is.
I fell in love with it, and when you fall in love with something, then you don't think of what comes, I don't know how many people here have been in love and how many people, a lot of people are in love these days. A lot of people are in love. But love language बदलली आहे फार आता. आधी ना लोक म्हणायची असे आध्यात्मिक भाषा वापरायचे. मी शरीर आहे, तू माझी आत्मा आहेस.
Correct.
एकदम.
Now?
आता बदललंय.
Now what does it say?
मी स्मार्टफोन आहे, तुझी माझी सिम कार्ड आहे. आणि ती म्हणते माझी भगवंतांची एकच प्रार्थना आहे की तुझा फोन ड्युअल सिम वाला नसो.
That could be a lyrics of a song in Bollywood.
So that's what I feel, that my choice is not about my choice alone, that I've quit this to come and do something. Yeah. There are so many who are in between like this, wanting to make that choice. It's not just about monkhood, it's about work, it's about relationships, it's about careers, it's about academics, but stuck.
But what is interesting is where you say that even when you choose to remain stuck, that also is courage.
It requires tremendous
Unfortunately, it is labeled as cowardness. It is labeled as तुम्हें दम नहीं है तुम्हारे में.
दम नहीं है सर. क्या है ना, उनकी रियल लाइफ में सर्कमस्टेंसेस ऐसी थी ना सर, कर नहीं पाए.
So you are not
अपने सपनों को छोड़ने में भी हिम्मत लगती है ना सर. हमने क्या बोला है कि केवल सपनों को साकार करने के लिए हिम्मत लगती है, अपने सपनों को छोड़ने में भी हिम्मत लगती है किसी दूसरे कारण के लिए. कुछ लोग ना अपने सपनों के लिए अपनों से दूर रहते हैं और कुछ लोग अपनों के लिए सपनों से दूर रहते हैं, और दोनों में हिम्मत लगती है सर. अपने सपनों के लिए अपनों को छोड़ के जाना, आई डिड इट. अपना सपना था कि ऐसा करना है, अपनों को छोड़ दिया पीछे ना, हिम्मत लगती है. लेकिन उसमें प्यार इतना था कि सोचा नहीं.
वाओ.
और जो अपनों के लिए सपनों को छोड़ देते सर, उनके बारे में कौन बोलेगा? ओनली दो स्टोरीज आर ग्लोरिफाइड एंड स्पोकन अबाउट वेयर अरे इसने सब छोड़ दिया, ये किया, अपने सपनों को साकार किया. गंग हो अबाउट दैट. जिन्होंने अपने सपने किसी और के लिए छोड़े, उनकी कहानियां कौन बताएगा?
कोई नहीं बताता.
उनको तो हम कॉवर्ड बोल रहे हैं. We are calling them cowards. Sir, it requires a lot of courage. Lot of courage when internally you're driven to do something. Still because of circumstance you say, no, this is what is the priority now.
Oh, beautiful.
So let's not kind of eulogize and glorify one way. Each one's way, each one's story is a story. Each one's story comes from a certain space. Each one's circumstance is a very different circumstance. Today I can do what I do. I found very supportive parents. Initially they didn't really kind of understand it all, but over a period of time they did come to terms with it. Somebody else who took the same decision as I did is still struggling with that side of the story.
How did they react? But what when you chose
my
Monkhood?
parents?
Yeah.
सर मारवाडी जैन फॅमिली हातात आलेला मुलगा नॉट इन द रॉंग सेन्स बट ना एक इन अ क्लास टीचर आस्क्ड अ बॉय कॉल्ड वरुण व्हाट डू यू वांट टू बी व्हेन यू ग्रो अप वरुण सेड वेल आई वांट टू बी अ मल्टी-बिलियनेयर
Okay.
I want 365 cars, one for each day of the year, 20 homes, one private jet. I want all of that. Teacher said, Varun, I didn't ask you to write an essay on what you wanted to be.
Yeah.
I asked you, what did you want to be?
Yeah.
So she asked a girl called Pooja in class, Pooja, don't answer like that. Answer in 2 words, what do you want to be when you grow up? Pooja said, Varun's wife. Like Varun, do all of that stuff. Get back. Now, of course, in the world today, pujas don't need a Varun to grow.
Yes.
Women don't any longer just need men to be able to grow, and they have the merit in their own way to grow. They always had, but today there is a facility to express that merit too.
Today Varun say that I want
Varun
to
say, I want to get married to Pooja. What do you want to be? Pooja's husband.
Pooja's husband.
Pooja's husband. So imagine coming from a family where this, or any parent for that matter, where the narrative of success is what? Money, marriage, children, family, homes, holidays, comfort, luxury, lifestyle.
And more so in your case because you are showing such great promise as an engineer from COEP, HP,
Yes.
all of that.
Yes, everything
which
was
is also
aligned.
very different for a Marwadi Jain family at that
Yes,
time.
yes. Very aligned with all those parameters that we are talking
Correct.
about, right? And then suddenly the son decides,
I know.
एक रात्री निर्णय घेतला, गेला. Can you imagine? I was 21 years old.
You were only 21.
21. Just out of college, few months at HP and out. विचार करा काय म्हणजे मला कधी कधी ना आता मी आईला भेटतो ना बाबा गेले 2009 मध्ये बाबा गेले आईला भेटतो तर आता आई पण फॉलो करते मी जे स्पिरिच्युअलिटी जी करतो तीच फॉलो करते तर कधी कधी आम्ही बसतो आणि आता आम्ही हसतो कारण त्याला 30 वर्षांपेक्षा जास्त झाली आहे दादा
पण तेव्हा what was it?
आज हसू शकतो तेव्हा
Did they say don't go?
I ran away.
You ran away. That love was so intense.
प्रेम विवाह
You eloped.
love story.
You eloped.
I eloped. Absolutely my love story. But what I'm trying to say is
Wow.
मला ना कित्येक वेळा असं वाटतं की आपण जे करतो ते त्यांना वेदना देतच. It does give pain to them, right? What we do does cause pain. It did cause pain to my parents. And that's the dilemma. In my case, it was a monk. आता इथे बघणारे किती तरुण तरुणी असतील त्यांना लग्न करायचं असेल इथे माझं प्रेम हिच्याशी आहे किंवा ह्याच्याशी आहे आणि आई बाबा म्हणतात हे नाही करायचं मी काय करू हे गौर गोपाल दासांसारखं करू का ते होईल बघूयात आपण पळून जाऊन लग्न करूयात स्टार्टअप आणि जॉब तो तरुण म्हणतोय मला स्टार्टअप करायचं बाबा म्हणतात नाही असं काय आपल्याकडे पैसे नाही असं रिस्क घ्यायची नाही काय करणार तो मुलगा शुड ही हर्ट हिज फॅमिली लाईक आय डिड and chase his dream?
That's a dilemma.
That's a dilemma and that's what we are trying to answer, sir. Or shall I say question, sir? Right. Shall I say question? करायचं काय? त्यांना दुःख देऊन माझी इच्छा पूर्ण करू की त्यांची इच्छा पूर्ण करता करता माझे स्वप्न विसरून जाऊ? What should I do? Isn't it?
And the answer lies in your own journey.
Answer lies in your own
There is
journey.
no right or wrong here.
There's no right or wrong there. Both are right. That's why we discussed both need courage. Nevertheless, there are a few pointers or a few thoughts that can help us navigate through such dilemmas. So my dilemma is everybody's dilemma in a different space.
Correct.
Mine was the monk space. Everybody else is a different space. But everybody's dilemmas are there, existing. Right? So, what do we do? First and foremost, to understand that their concerns come from the space of love.
Always.
आई वडील ना प्रेमापोटी आपल्याला थांबवतायत कंट्रोल करण्यासाठी नाही
Correct.
ते कंट्रोल फ्रीक्स नाहीत एक्सेप्शन असतात देर इज एक्सेप्शन टू एव्हरी रूल बट दॅट नंबर इज फ्यू प्रेमापोटी. प्रेम असण्यामुळे ते नेहमी बघत असतात की याच्यामध्ये आता चांगलं होईल का, कल्याण होईल का, याच्यामध्ये याची ग्रोथ होईल का, आणि ते त्यांच्या लेन्समधनं पाहतायत. They are looking at it completely through their lens. So because they are looking at it through their lens, they are concerned ki is he doing the right thing or not? Or is she doing the right thing or not? So सगळ्यात मोठी गोष्ट, पहिली गोष्ट हे लक्षात घेणं की आपले जे प्रियजन असतात, स्पेसिफिकली आई बाबा, ते फक्त प्रेमापोटी हे करतायत. लेट्स नॉट टेक इट एज कंट्रोल. लेट्स नॉट टेक इट एज ऑपोजिशन. Let's not take it as what is the word? Let us not take it as force. Let us take it as love coming in a certain form.
Sure.
This is the first step. Most people start becoming hostile towards family and parents because they stop them or they're kind of opposing them. But let's first see that this is coming from a space of love. इथे 9 लिहिलं ना सर, तर मला इथनं 9 दिसतं, तुम्हाला इथनं 6 दिसतं, आणि आपली सगळी भांडणं याच्यामुळे आहेत की आपण दुसरीकडे जाऊन बघत नाही आहोत. तुम्ही आणि मी भांडायचं का, की तुम्ही म्हणायचं की हे 6 आहे आणि मी म्हणायचं हे 9 आहे. आपण भांडत बसू दिवसभर आणि त्यातनं काही निघणार नाहीये. मग कमीत कमी मी जर तिकडे आलो आणि तुमच्या दृष्टिकोनाने पाहायला लागलो, तुम्हाला दिसेल की हा एक 6 आहे. तुम्ही जर इकडे आलात तर तुम्हाला दिसायला लागेल की हा 9 आहे. So to be able to see that from each other's point of view is what lacks a lot of time, right? But to begin with, at least, let's understand that they are doing it completely from the space of love, right? माझ्या केसमध्ये तेच झालं. It was absolutely love. They felt pain. They tried to take me back. They tried not take me back. They tried to convince me to go back. Came several times to our ashram here in Bombay, trying to persuade me to come back. But what they saw eventually was, this is his dream.
And he's a happy man.
He's a happy man. He's growing in what he's doing. He's contributing through what he's doing. Yes, this is not exactly how we would have wanted it to be. Nevertheless, over a period of time, that understanding develops. But understanding develops when we show by our consistency that this is what means to us. मला माझ्या बाबा गेले 2009 मध्ये, 1996, 2005, 6, 10 ते 11 वर्ष he was like very strong. That wasn't the best thing to do. 2006-07 ला for the first time he started seeing, 10 वर्ष लागली सर,
10 years.
10 ते 11 वर्ष लागली त्यांना हे बघायला की हा जो करतोय ह्यात काहीतरी तथ्य आहे, याच्यात काय व्हॅल्यू आहे, तो काहीतरी करतोय काम. And when my entire social media journey took off, he was not even there to see that. म्हणजे आजचं जे मी आता इथे येऊन बसतोय, याच्यात माझा बाबा बघत असतील, कुठून जिथे कुठे तिथनं बघत असतील, त्यांच्या डोळ्यात अश्रू असतील.
So proud.
अश्रू असतील, गर्वाने छाती अगदी अशी, chest full of pride.
Absolutely.
He'll be extremely proud to see that my son's decision paid off. Yes, we misunderstood him, he misunderstood us, whichever way, but it paid off. So consistently, if this is what you chose, then consistency in what you do and growth in what you do is better than arguing that this is the right thing to do. I didn't argue. I showed by my consistency. And that's my advice to everybody who's watching as well, especially the youngsters. I know that this tiff is going to exist in many spaces. If you choose to do it your way, understand that their opposition is coming from the space of love. Speak to them, listen to them, not to reply, but to understand their concerns. Be patient. Your journey was not a lightning strike. Your journey was a sunrise. There was no trigger that brought it to you. It was slowly growing in you. But it was not slowly growing in them. So you can understand yourself. They can't.
You threw a bomb at them.
यू थ्रोइंग अ बॉम्ब. तुमच्यासाठी तो सूर्योदय होता, त्यांच्यासाठी ती वीज आहे. So understand that it requires patience for them to understand what you're going through. And therefore, now that you've chosen, stand by it, stay consistent, learn, hustle, work, be dedicated, be committed, keep going. Let your consistency, let your happiness, let your growth, let your contribution show them that what he chose was the right thing to do. You know?
Let's talk about your childhood. As a kid, were you as extroverted as you are now? Were you also naughty like some of us were as a kid? How was it growing up? And looks like the initiation was always there. Looks like you had the seed. Otherwise, at 21, it is very difficult to get attracted to this.
Yeah. Of course, when I was born and when I grew up, wherever I grew up, there was no Akashvani saying he's going to be a monk. Akashvani झाली नाही. No astrologer predicted nothing. I think I had a very average, normal childhood in a middle class, lower middle class home in a very small town called Dehu Road near Pune.
Oh.
देहू रोड एक देहू आहे, तुकाराम महाराजांचं देहू आहे.
Oh.
आणि तिथेच एक देहू रोड आहे.
Oh.
विच इज द कॅन्टोन्मेंट एरिया.
Correct.
दॅट इज वेअर आय ग्रू अप. आणि चाळीत आय ग्रू अप इन अ चॉल.
Okay.
आणि ही चाळ आपल्या मुंबईच्या चाळीसारखी नाही. मुंबईच्या चाळ्या अशा बिल्डिंग्स असतात ना.
Correct.
पुण्याच्या चाळी कित्येक वेळा वाड्यासारख्या असतात ना.
This was a flat.
लाईक अ वाडा. रानडे चाळ म्हणायचं त्याला.
Okay.
तर आम्ही कित्येक वेळा आमचे सगळे मित्रमैत्रिणी आमचे सगळे लिहायचो रानडे क्वार्टर्स लिहायचो, कारण चाळ नको ना वाचायला म्हणून.
Ranade society.
सो रानडे सोसायटी, रानडे क्वार्टर्स, चाळ नको.
Sometimes Ranade not so cooperative society.
आणि त्या रानडे चाळीत मला एक नक्कीच आठवतं. वी वर अबाउट 35 families in that chawl.
Wow.
And each family take an average of 5 to 6 members in the household and 3 toilets.
That's a chawl.
You can imagine about 180 to 200 people in the morning. How do you prioritize your morning routine?
But then it works, no?
It works. But it was so obnoxiously, excuse my word, bloody dirty. Nightmarishly dirty. All lower middle class families, below average facilities, below average finances. But what I saw and how I grew up was beautiful. Because you don't need above average facilities to live a beautiful life. You need above average facilities to live a beautiful lifestyle, not a beautiful life. And there's a big difference between a lifestyle and a life. It's not about what car you drive. It's about the destination you drive to, regardless of which car you are in. It's not about the phone you have. It's about the quality of conversations you have on that phone that defines your life. Lifestyle is about the brand of the phone. Life is about the quality of conversations.
Oh, nice.
Lifestyle is about the brand of the car. Life is about where you're driving to. Lifestyle is about the brand of the watch. Life is about how you're using the time on that watch. Lifestyle is about a fancy house. Life is about a beautiful home. We were living in below average houses, but living in beautiful homes. And today we are a world of beautiful houses and sadly broken homes. You know, I come from a very lower middle class average neighborhood with dirty, obnoxious, stinky, nightmarish toilets. And what I grew up with is something that became the foundation of my life from my childhood. What we grew up with was aspirations, ambitions to grow, to improve, to move into a better household, to have better stuff, all of that was there.
In all the families?
All the families, everybody had them.
Interesting.
Every lower middle class families has the ambition, the aspiration to go up. Who doesn't? But what was beautiful was while there were those aspirations, while there was those ambitions, there was also a deep sense of gratitude for what we had.
Oh.
Because when we are grateful for what we have, that gratitude makes us happy and satisfied in the present. If I'm only aspiring for the future and I'm ambitious for the future, that's still a long way to go. What happens is I'm at the bottom of a mountain, I'm looking at the peak and I want to reach the peak, but I don't realize that till I reach the peak, there's a journey to enjoy too. So in the world today, ambitions and aspirations have taken over so much that we are forgetting that there's a journey to enjoy. Safar खूबसूरत है मंजिल से भी. सफर खूबसूरत है मंजिल से भी. मंजिल से भी खूबसूरत तो सफर है. वो मंजिल में पहुंचने में टाइम लगेगा एक लोअर मिडिल क्लास फैमिली को. तब तक या तो हिंदी सफर बनाओ या इंग्लिश में सफर करोगे.
करेक्ट.
दो है, एक इंग्लिश वाला सफर है, एक हिंदी वाला सफर है. तो अगर हिंदी वाला सफर नहीं बनाइएगा तो इंग्लिश वाला सफर और टॉयलेट से और लैक ऑफ फैसिलिटी से तो सफर करोगे दिन रात. अभी दिल्ली दूर है ना, तो अगर दिल्ली दूर है, अभी वो पहाड़ एक चट्टान दूर है ना, तो अगर वो दूर है तो कम से कम सफर में ग्रेटिट्यूड से उसको खूबसूरत बनाते हैं, हंस खेल के खूबसूरत बनाते हैं, मस्ती करके खूबसूरत बनाते हैं, प्यार से रिश्ते एक दूसरों के साथ रख के खूबसूरत बनाते हैं, एक दूसरों के साथ त्योहार मना के खूबसूरत बनाते हैं. ये नहीं सोचते कि तुम हिंदू हो, तुम मुसलमान हो, तुम क्रिश्चियन हो, तुम नास्तिक हो. I was surrounded by some Islamic families and my best friend was Rafiq Muhammad. We didn't have boundaries. We had absolutely no boundaries. हम सब लोअर मिडिल क्लास के इंसान जिनके सब की एक एस्पिरेशन और एम्बिशन है कि एक दिन अपना भी अच्छा मकान होगा, एक दिन अपनी भी अच्छी गाड़ी आएगी, एक दिन अपनी भी अच्छी फैमिली के लिए सब सेटलमेंट होगा, एक दिन हम अपन भी बेलगांव नहीं जाएंगे, बेल्जियम जाएंगे, एक दिन अपन भी सिंगापुर नहीं जाएंगे, सिंगापुर जाएंगे. You know, those aspirations were there. But while those aspirations were there, we didn't forget to live a beautiful life there, being grateful for the love, the friendship, the camaraderie, the togetherness, the festivals. This is why I always say, it's not the happy people who are grateful. It's the grateful people who are happy. म्हणजे सर तुमच्या दातामध्ये कधी ते आंब्याचं तूस अडकलंय?
हो या.
आंबे खाताना ना आत्ताच
आय एम नॉट ग्रेटफुल फॉर दॅट. आय एम नॉट ग्रेटफुल फॉर
आंब्याचं ते तूस अडकतं. कधी कधी आपल्या वरणातलं किंवा भाजीतलं कोथिंबीर त्याचं पान असतात, अडकलंय कधी? मग आपण ते मक्याचं कणीस खातो माहिती, मक्याचं कणीस त्यातलं ते असतं ते
झुप इट गोज
दातात अडकतं ते. आणि कधी कधी बडीशेप खातो, ते बडीशेपाच्या मागे असं एक शेपूट असतं छोटंसं माहिती, ते दातात अडकतं. म्हणजे उदाहरणं पण मी निवडून आणली आहेत, एक एक निवडून आणले. हे दातात अडकलं ना, वेन इट गेट स्टक इन अ टूथ, आपल्या जिभेचं काय होतं माहितीये का, ती तिथेच जाते. लक्ष द्या, कधी दातात जर कुठे काही अडकलं असेल ना, तर जीभ नेमकी तिथेच जात राहणार जोपर्यंत ते निघणार नाही.
करेक्ट.
आणि ते काढायलाच पाहिजे दातातनं. टूथपिक घ्या, डेंटल फ्लॉस घ्या, इंटरडेंटल काय काढायचंच पाहिजे ते. पण आपल्या तोंडामध्ये 31 आणखी दात आहेत, तिथे काय अडकलेलं नाहीये.
करेक्ट.
जीभ तिथे जाऊ शकते आणि म्हणते इथे काहीच नाही अडकलेलं. अरे वा, इथे पण काही प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये, इथे पण काही प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये. अरे 31 दातांमध्ये काही प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये, पण त्या एका दातामध्ये अडकलेल्या प्रॉब्लेम मध्येच नेहमी जीभ तिथेच जात राहते. आणि मनही तसंच आहे ना. अ माइंड इज एक्झॅक्टली लाईक दॅट. कॉन्स्टंटली कीप्स टू गोइंग टू व्हॉट इज लॅकिंग, व्हॉट इज प्रॉब्लेमॅटिक, नॉट टू व्हॉट इज अ स्ट्रेंथ, नॉट टू व्हॉट वी हॅव. Gratitude means not that we won't deal with this, but consciously bringing our attention to what is. तर आमच्याकडे ना लहानपणी तो बॅलन्स होता सर. फक्त ग्रेटफुल राहिलं ना तर फ्युचर बिल्ड होत नाही, फक्त प्रेझेंट चांगलं असतं.
सो यू हॅड अम्बिशन, बट
आणि फक्त ॲस्पिरेशन आणि ॲम्बिरेशन असले तर फक्त भविष्याचा विचार करता करता प्रेझेंटचं काय, ती जर्नी काय, सफरबद्दल काय. And which is why we are talking to all of the youngsters today via this conversation, and want to say, be ambitious, man. Like, be like mad ambitious. Let sky not be the limit. You have the potential, you have the opportunity, you have the skill set, you have the talent. Don't reduce your ambition even by an iota.
Okay.
Strive for it, learn, work, hustle, get there. But while getting there, don't forget, it's a long journey. It's not happening overnight. It's not happening tomorrow. It's probably going to take years. Years is an understatement. It's probably going to take decades before you actually see the fruit of what you've been striving for. So are you going to spend those years suffering? No. So as I grew up in my childhood, I realized this, studied this, not consciously. It became a part of me. Today, somehow I'm going places, there's a journey, you're going, there's so much happening, there's so much more to do. Not a single day of my life, I fail to live my life that day. Today I'm here with you, I'm chatting with you, I'm absolutely enjoying this conversation. Absolutely enjoying this conversation with not thinking that what's the next thing 2 days later. म्हणून ना हा जो बॅलन्स आहे ना सर, सॅटिस्फॅक्शन अँड ग्रॅटिट्यूड मेक्स युअर प्रेझेंट गुड, ambition and aspiration makes your future good. In the name of the future, don't make your present miserable, and in the name of living a good present, don't compromise with building your future building based on your aspirations and ambitions. तर हे त्या चाळीत राहून अगदी स्वाभाविक झालं.
ब्रिलियंट.
कधीच आम्हाला विचार करावा लागला नाही, कारण आम्ही मस्ती करत होतो. आम्ही सगळी मुलं खेळायचो, मुलं मुली खेळायचो. मला माहित नाही, आमच्या लहानपणी विचित्र गेम्स होते. पुण्याला अशी विचित्र गेम असायची. एक डब्बा एक्सप्रेस म्हणून एक काहीतरी गेम होता, माहित नाही तुम्हाला, इथे पण आहे मुंबईला डब्बा एक्सप्रेस. आणि एक लिंगोरच्या म्हणून असं ते 7 हे करून लगोरी मारायचं. हे सगळं क्रिकेट तो थोडंफार. आणि मी काय जास्त खेळण्यामध्ये माझ्या आईला मला जबरदस्ती पाठवावं लागायचं खेळायला. उलटा होतो मी. पण वी हॅड गुड टाइम्स, good friendships, religion no barrier, atheism, theism no barrier. Which state of India you were from, no barrier. We were one India, a lower middle class India, Bharat, living in Ranade Chawl, celebrating Eid, celebrating Diwali, celebrating Christmas, celebrating Chaturmas, celebrating all of those things, the Jains, Paryushan, all of those things together, right? This Rafiq Muhammad, my friend, his mother, because we were vegetarians, Jains, right? His mother would cook in a separate pot, on a separate fire on Eid. The sheer khurma would be made for us, especially for me, on a separate fire, in a separate bartan, every year, right? So I lived in a place, मी मोठा झालो जिथे मी हे पाहिलं की बाउंड्रीच्या पलीकडे जाऊन आम्ही सगळे मनुष्य होतो, एक लोअर मिडल क्लास होतो. आणि हा जो बॅलन्स आहे ना, हा पाहायला मिळाला. द बॅलन्स बिटवीन सॅटिस्फॅक्शन अँड अम्बिशन. अँड देन ॲज आय ग्रो अप, ऑफकोर्स एव्हरी चाइल्ड वॉन्ट्स नाईस स्टफ ना. सगळ्या मुलांना चांगल्या गोष्टी पाहिजेत, गिफ्ट्स पाहिजेत, चांगले कपडे पाहिजेत. एक लहान मुलगी आली एका दुकानदाराकडे पुण्याला आणि म्हणाली, अंकल मी कशी दिसते? 4 वर्षाची होती ती. अंकल मी कशी दिसते? दुकानामध्ये, फार सुंदर दिसतेस का? म्हणाले, मग मी मोठी झाल्यावर तुम्ही तुमच्या मुलाचं लग्न माझ्याशी करणार का अंकल?
ओके.
तर दुकाना मला नक्की करेन ना. मग होणाऱ्या सुनबाईला कॅडबरी फ्रूट अँड नट नाही देणार का अंकल? लहान मुलं.
Wow.
Kids are kids. They want stuff. They want good chocolates. They want good food. They want good toys. And being a lower middle class family, especially when we were younger, we got only limited amount of stuff. Out of love, but there was good. No scarcity, but not exactly what we would have wanted.
Because the aspirations wouldn't have been then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got it.
Yeah.
So the greatest gifts I got from my family, from my parents, weren't as much things. The greatest gifts I got from my parents, my family, was values.
Yes.
And values are never taught. Values are caught.
Correct.
They didn't teach me that. I saw that. माझ्या आजोबांकडनं, my grandfather, I learnt the value of discipline and contribution. Retirement झाल्यानंतर, he was about 62. आमच्या घराशेजारीच एक बँक होती. जायचं आणि 8 तास तिथे बसायचे आणि अनएज्युकेटेड लोकांना फॉर्म भरायला शिकवायचे. He was getting nothing. 8 तास.
8 hours.
He would sit under a tree and just help people who were illiterate. Sorry, I used the word uneducated. Illiterate who were to fill their forms. So I saw that sense of contribution for nothing. He didn't get anything. तर तिथे एक ना निस्वार्थ कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन त्यांच्याकडे दिसलं, त्यांच्यामध्ये घरीच डिसिप्लिन दिसलं तिथेच. आजीमध्ये शी लेफ्ट इन द लॉकडाऊन ड्युरिंग कोविड. शी वॉज 100 when she left. फायटर स्पिरिट शिकलो आजीकडनं.
They all like that.
तिच्या डिक्शनरीमध्ये ना गिव्हअप हा शब्द नव्हताच सर. गिव्हअप हा शब्दच नव्हता. 92ची झाली, 92 मध्ये तिला कॅन्सर झालं. कॅन्सरची ट्रीटमेंट करायला गेले तर खाली पडली आणि स्पाईन इंजुरी झाली. स्पाईन ऑपरेट केलं, फिजिओथेरपी करून स्वतः चालायला लागली, स्वतःची कामं स्वतःच करायला लागली पुन्हा. 95ला पुन्हा रिलॅप्स झाला कॅन्सर, पुन्हा पडली, पुन्हा हॉस्पिटलायझेशन, पुन्हा फिजिओथेरपी. 95च्या एंडला परत स्वतः उठून सगळी कामं स्वतः करायची. कोविड झालं. कोविडच्या लॉकडाऊनमध्ये घरी कोणी नसल्यामुळे वी हॅड टू मूव्ह टू अ केअर होम. कारण घरी कोण, नर्सेस कोण येणार ना. माझे भाऊजी आहेत, बहिणीचे मिस्टर, ते जाऊन बघायचं तिला अधूनमधून. बट देन देअर इन द केअर होम शी लेफ्ट ॲट 100. I had gone to see her just as the lockdown was kind of, trailing off. आणि जी फायटर स्पिरिट ना, नो गिव्हिंग अप कम वॉट मे. मनस्थिती की परिस्थिती. आपली मनस्थिती परिस्थितीवर हवी झाली पाहिजे की आपली परिस्थिती मनस्थितीवर हवी झाली पाहिजे. आय लर्न इट फ्रॉम हर, फ्रॉम माय ग्रँडमदर, फ्रॉम माय मदर, फ्रॉम माय फादर. आय लर्न द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ डेडिकेटेड हार्ड वर्क अँड ॲडजस्टमेंट. रविवारी ऑफिसला जायचे. आई कित्येक वेळा भांडायची, लग्न माझ्याशी केलंय की ऑफिसची केलंय. रविवारी कोण ऑफिसला जात नाही, पण काम असलं की बाबा रविवारी देखील 4 तास ऑफिसला जाणार. ते दिसलं घरीच की हा माणूस त्याच्या कामाला किती सिरियसली घेतोय. ही आजी गिव्हअपच करत नाहीये. हे आजोबा 8-8 तास तिथे बघून रँडम लोकांचे फॉर्म भरतायत. काही त्यांना कोणी पैसे देत नाही, कोणी त्यांना मीडिया कव्हरेज देत नाही, काही नाही. आईकडनं शिकलो ग्रोथ कशी झाली पाहिजे, सॅक्रिफाईस काय असतं. फॉर ऑल द इयर्स आय वॉज इन हर वूम वेन शी क्विट हर कॉलेज. आफ्टर आय वॉज बॉर्न शी कुडंट गो बॅक टू कॉलेज. ती गेली नाही शाळेत, कॉलेजला परत माझा जन्म झाल्यानंतर. आणि तिने पाहिलं की आपण लोअर मिडल क्लास आहोत, बाबांची सॅलरी ॲव्हरेज आहे ती अशीच राहणार. पण असं बसून चालणार नाही ना, मुलांनाही त्यांना पंख द्यायला हवेत आपण. ही स्टार्टेड अ स्मॉल समथिंग, ग्रू दॅट इन टू अन एंटायर बिझनेस ऑफ हर सेल्फ. राईट, गॉट इन टू अ होल बिझनेस, परचेस्ड 4 apartments, मदर अलोन, विदाउट टेकिंग अ सिंगल पेनी फ्रॉम माय फादर. आईकडनं बघायला मिळालं की नुसतं असा हातावर हात बसून धरून आपल्या परिस्थिती बदल चालणार नाही. आहे आपली अशी परिस्थिती, पण ह्यातनं तोड काय करायचं, व्हॉट कॅन वी डू. आय सॉ दॅट प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्विंग, सॅक्रिफाईस, ग्रोथ. बहिणीकडनं, ओनली 1 sister, बहिणीकडनं शिकलो की एक निस्वार्थ प्रेम काय असतं, निस्वार्थ मैत्री काय असते. माय सिस्टर इज गोल्ड. शी इज गोल्ड. The way she gives her heart to the people whom she loves them, I seldom find that kind of selfless giving. तर म्हणून ना तिथे घरच्या घरी त्यांनी कधीच काही सांगितलं नाही, त्यांनी बसून कधी धडे शिकवले नाही, पण हे सगळं दिसलं. दॅट्स हाऊ आय लर्न फ्रॉम माय what I learned from my childhood. But to everybody who is watching, I know there are people who haven't had good childhoods. I know there are people who are watching who are abused, sometimes by their own family. I know kids, people who are grown up today who are watching, I know that they've had domestic violence at home, an alcoholic father, abusive uncle, troubled homes. And to all of those who are watching, who have not had a very pleasant childhood, I would love to say that our upbringing only influences us. It shouldn't imprison us. Negatively or positively, it influenced us. We don't need to have it imprison us. Today, as we've grown into adults, whatever has been in our childhood, we have a choice. We have a choice for the values that we want to live by today, for the habits that we want to cultivate, the kind of people who we want to surround ourselves by. Childhood shapes our life, good or bad ways, but adulthood has the potential to reshape our life the way we want it to be. So yes, my childhood was beautiful, but I know people who haven't had that kind of childhood too. And let's not make this whole childhood thing, sometimes childhood is glorified a bit too much. But there are people who haven't had that kind of a childhood. So to them, I would love to share this and say this, that don't worry. We all have the potential to reshape our lives. Yes, the past can probably, dictate how our life went, but it doesn't define our life.
But it's also the analogy that you gave in terms of something is stuck in between your teeth and then there are 31 other teeth.
We can focus on that.
So when you reflect, what you're saying is you have reflected on your value systems and then you realized that those held you in good stead to become what you are. Here you're also saying that if you did not have the childhood that I did, but I'm sure there are 31 other teeth.
We can do that today.
We can do that today. And I'm sure that while bad things were happening to you, there were also good things that have happened to you in your journey.
Absolutely.
And focus on that. So that is why that reflection is important.
That reflection is important, to reshape our lives. Because life doesn't hand us everything we want, sir. It doesn't. Life is not an MP3 player or a player on your phone.
On demand.
ऑन डिमांड आपण ते काय कुठलं गाणं ऐकायचं ते गाणं लावून आपण वाजवतो आज. लाईफ इज अ रेडिओ चॅनल सर. जे गाणं वाजतंय ना ते ऐकावं लागतं. आपण चॉईस करत नाही नेहमी. देर आर थिंग्स दॅट आर सर्व्ड टू अस ऑन अ प्लॅटर विच वी डिडंट वॉन्ट. वी डिडंट एक्सपेक्ट थिंग्स टू गो दिस वे. वन ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स, he was abused so bad by one of his cousins, like really bad, is going through trauma. आणि ना आपल्याला कित्येक वेळा आपल्या घरी असं झालं नाही, आपल्याबरोबर झालं नाही, तर आपल्याला कळत पण नाही की त्यांच्या आयुष्यामध्ये काय होत आहे. तर म्हणून मी आज ह्या प्लॅटफॉर्मच्या माध्यमातून हे सांगू इच्छितो की बी अ बिट एम्पॅथेटिक टू दोज हू हॅव गॉन थ्रू दोज अब्युझिव्ह चाइल्डहुड. आपण ना लगेच ॲडवाईस करायला निघतो.
वी डिसमिस
लगेच ॲडवाईस. अरे तू थोडा जप कर, थोडं ध्यान कर, थोडी पूजा कर, कोणाशी तरी मन मोकळं करून बोल, एखादा काउन्सिलरकडे जाऊन नये, सगळं ठीक होईल. पण जो ट्रॉमा असतो ना सर, तो तुम्हाला आणि मला कळणार नाही. कारण कोणी आपल्याबरोबर असं काही केलेलं नाहीये. ज्यांच्याबरोबर असं झालंय ना काही, what they have gone through is a whole thing. So which is why I thought, since the question was about childhood, and I was talking all good things about my childhood, this thing came to my mind, but that there might be so many who may not have had that.
Absolutely.
And it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Don't worry. It doesn't define your life. It happened, and there's nothing that you need to pressurize yourself to move on with it or move out of it. Just remember one thing, that we have the potential to reshape our lives. And make that journey meaningful, if not necessarily beautiful.
Sure.
Trauma doesn't always make journeys beautiful. When you live with trauma, the journey can't be beautiful.
It's painful.
But you can make it meaningful. But that's what Viktor Frankl said in his book, Search for Meaning. Traumatic situation in those concentration camps, sir. I've heard stories. Traumatic situations. But in the middle of all that trauma, chaos, mayhem, they didn't look for beauty. There was no beauty. They looked for meaning. And which is exactly why when someone's going through this amount of trauma, to encourage them to look for the beauty in life could be a bit violent sometimes. Because although there have been good things, but the trauma is so intense, it stops them from seeing that. So at least one thing is for sure. We can look at it as meaning, use that energy to find meaning and channelize that energy into something meaningful and constructive.
Absolutely. Were there any challenges in your life, sir? I mean, your childhood was great, and then, you found your love. Not many people find their love. And you got the opportunity to immerse in that love. But being a monk is not always a beautiful journey. What were the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them? Because again, it should not be seen that you've always lived a life that had no challenges.
Of course, absolutely. माझ्याकडे ना एक माणूस आला आणि म्हणाला, गुरुजी, आमचं लग्न झालं आता 20 वर्ष झाली, पण फार प्रॉब्लेम आहेत गुरुजी, फार प्रॉब्लेम चाललेत, काही सोल्युशन आहे का? मी त्याला म्हणालो, अरे वेड्या, सोल्युशन असतं तर मी साधू का झालो असतो? Just joking on the lighter side.
It's too late to ask now. You should have asked me 20 years back.
Just joking on the lighter side. So people usually think that sadhus' lives or monks' lives will not have problems.
Correct.
Yeah,
because
it's kind of assuming इनको क्या प्रॉब्लम है, इनको तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है ना? आज देखो सुशील बोर्डे सर ने उनके JioLEAP पे पॉडकास्ट के लिए बुलाया, इनका क्या प्रॉब्लम है? हमको बुलाते क्या? नहीं बुलाते. हाँ, उनको पॉडकास्ट,
आपने शादी की है इसलिए नहीं बुला रहा हूँ.
पॉडकास्ट के लिए बुलाया, उनके लिए गाड़ी भेजा, उनको पिकअप किया, उनके लिए उनके प्रेफरेंस का खाना बना के रखा, उनको इतना रिस्पेक्टफुली व्यवहार किया, उनके साथ बैठ के ऐसा गपशप लड़ाया. हमको कौन पूछता है?
गरम पानी दिया.
गरम पानी दिया, पीता हूँ थोड़ा. गरम पानी दिया, इनके लाइफ में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? इवेंट में बुलाते हैं लोग, जाते हैं ये. अब माहीत नसलं तरी चार्टर्ड प्लेनमध्ये तर जात असतील ना. आता तर गुरुजीच आहेत ना ते. आता गुरुजींना कोण असं बिझनेस फर्स्ट क्लासमध्ये कोण नाही पाठवतं बे गुरुजींना, नाही. गुरुजींना तर ते प्रायव्हेटमध्येच पाठवणार. गुरुजींचा तो मोठा आश्रम असेल, मोठा बंगला असेल. सो द अझम्पशन इज दॅट एव्हरीथिंग इन ए मंक्स लाईफ ऑल सेट. There can't be any problems. For two reasons. One is facilities are given by the followers, the disciples, the devotees. And second is, they're also spiritual, so
you don't need anything.
You don't need anything. And then if you're spiritual, then spiritual आदमी को problem क्या है?
Problem क्या है?
Assumption. Clear assumption.
6'9".
6'9". Clear assumption. I have always believed in one thing. तुम्ही जर कोळशाच्या खाणीत गेला सर, काय होईल बाहेर आल्यानंतर?
कोळसाच होईल.
कपड्यांना कोळसा लागेल ना. मी गेलो तर माझ्या कपड्यांना लागेल सर.
लागेल.
तुम्ही रिलायन्सचे, मी इस्कॉनचा, आमच्या आश्रमचा, ती कोळशाची खाण डिस्क्रिमिनेट करते का? नाही. तुम्ही जर समुद्रात पडलात सर, तुमच्या तोंडात पाणी गेलं, ते पाणी खारट आहे. मी जर हे कपडे घालून समुद्रात पडलो तर, स्पिरिच्युअल आहे, मंक आहे म्हणून ते पाणी गोड होईल का?
नाही.
लाईफ ट्रीट्स एव्हरीबडी द सेम. नोबडी इज एन एक्सेप्शन. लाईफ ट्रीट्स एव्हरीबडी एक्झॅक्टली द सेम. हेल्थ चॅलेंजेस लाईफ गिव्स एव्हरीबडी. 30 वर्ष झाली सर, इथे मला प्रॉब्लेम आहे. 30 years I have a problem in my temples. It hurts me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 30 years.
What?
I haven't seen one moment of pain-free life in the last 30 years. I don't know what a pain-free life means. I have no clue what it means. जर अचानक ही पेन गेली तर मला वाटेल काहीतरी इंटिग्रल पार्ट होतं तेच गेलंय. It's so integral to me, right? So
unbelievable. And you can still have so much energy and the smile and
no. So what I'm trying to say, sir, is life doesn't spare anybody. Health challenges, criticism, You can get criticized for anything, and especially if you're a public figure, you can get trolled for any little thing. Criticism, because I'm a monk, my 280 flights still can give me fatigue. Still can give me fatigue. Misunderstandings can happen. Anything can happen. Life treats everybody exactly the same, regardless of whether you're an atheist or a theist or a monk or not a monk, you're a chairman, a CEO, a manager, a general manager, a makeup man, a cameraman, a boy, a girl. Absolutely doesn't matter. Right? So, which is exactly why I have always said this, and I'll continue saying this. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. It's not about not getting, it's about managing rightly.
Correct.
That's what matters. To say that you don't feel is to say that you're a rock. Only rocks have no feelings. To say that we go through all of these feelings is extremely real, and then to say that we can manage them well is what the human potential is.
And that is, I think, the misconception about spirituality at times, where they say that you have to be in so much control about balance and so much control about achieving equilibrium that you should not feel anything. The whole concept of nothingness, etc. And then people say, but and then that's where the stress comes in.
Yeah.
How come I was angry now? Spirituality said that I have to conquer anger.
Correct.
I'm not at the equilibrium yet. Yeah. And they get angry with themselves.
Yeah, the funny part is because most people in the world out there are not living in Himalayan caves, no sir?
Correct.
They're not living in Himalayan caves, and most of the sadhus who are running institutions, spiritual leaders who are running institutions, are also not living in Himalayan caves. They live in cities, they live in urban settings, they have to run ashrams, they have to run projects, they have to run teams, they have to manage everything. Even people who are spiritual leaders are not people who are completely isolated from the real world.
But they manage themselves in the real world.
So that's the real art, I would say.
Of spirituality.
Yes, and that state of equilibrium is probably an ideal state when you're completely disconnected. To be able to live in the world, like for example, in the Mahabharata, when Abhimanyu was killed, Arjun felt bad. Arjun was totally shattered, devastated. And this is after listening to the Bhagavad Gita.
After.
Because the battle happened after listening to the Gita.
Correct.
So Gita ऐकल्यानंतर अर्जुनाचे भाव हे होते. After listening to the Gita, he was going through turmoil, going through pain, shattered. He's lost his own son. So the sign, the symptom, the trait of someone who is spiritually evolved is not that he or she doesn't feel. The sign of a spiritually evolved individual is how can they navigate through that feeling,
Yes.
heal from that feeling, and rise above that feeling to be able to do what is meant to be done. So what did he do? He felt pain. The evening when he came, he saw Abhimanyu's body lying there, crying, frustrated, devastated. Gathered himself. The next morning he was on the battlefield fighting the battle. Probably with more zeal, more energy now. Because now there was a purpose. There's already a purpose.
Of course.
But this strengthened the purpose. So I think to say that one should not feel because one is spiritual and one needs to stay in that state of equilibrium all the time is a very unrealistic thing to expect of, especially of people living in the real world.
Correct.
Isn't
Correct. Absolutely. And then, like you said, possibly the end goal, which is nirvana, enlightenment, etc., could be that nothingness feeling. But even after achieving that, Gautam Buddha actually came back to real life. He did not stay in the forest. But he could manage himself in the real life. That's where the smile came from. That's where the peace came from,
Yeah, I also feel those moments of enlightenment, whether we call it nirvana, moksha, spiritually connected, whatever terms we use for it, maybe that kind of comes to one at a certain stage in life, probably at the end of life, probably at the stage of spiritual evolution. But we can all experience those moments regularly too.
Oh.
It's not that we are angry all the time. It's not that we are frustrated all the time. It's not that we are hankering and desiring all the time. Spirituality is not about one single thing that lasts like a linear graph, like a linear line. No, there will be pockets. There will be pockets when you feel, this is the moment when I feel the most deeply connected. Right? Cash on it. Capitalize on it. Build that moment. Build that moment. Because that moment gives us the strength. That moment builds our capacity. So when the next time things are not good, this is feeding into that. You know? So to say that life is all going to be downs, and one day enlightenment. No. Life is ups and downs. And in all those ups and downs, there will be times when we'll find those pockets to feel very deeply connected. So in real life, therefore, we need to look for those moments of inner connection.
That's the flow moment, they call it the flow zone.
Yes, they call it the flow state, the flow zone, the flow moment, where everything disappears.
Correct.
Like if we are talking,
Yeah.
our flow state would mean we don't care for who's sitting around. We don't care for the lights around. We don't care for this cup, not the table. I forget I am I, you forget you are you. And the only thing that's happening is the conversation. Then that's the flow state.
So then one can always say that you don't need to hit rock bottom to move towards spirituality. You can be at the highest state of joy and happiness and still embrace spirituality in its true form.
Yes, absolutely we can. Hitting the rock bottom becomes a good catalyst though.
That's a good reason to...
That becomes a good reason, because when frustration comes, when disappointments come, when troubles come, when challenges come, when problems happen, is when people start seeking meaning.
Correct.
When things are going good, then we kind of cruise along those waves and those tides of good times.
You want to enjoy that.
You want to enjoy that. That's why don't they say, Sukh mein sumiran sab, dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. When things are good, spiritual, kaun sochta hai? When things are bad,
then it's...
When I've knocked every door, बैंक का डोर नॉक किया, बंद हो गया, दोस्तों का डोर नॉक किया, वो बंद हो गया, रिश्तेदारों का दरवाजा खटखटाया, वो बंद हो गया, फैमिली का दरवाजा खटखटाया, वो बंद हो गया, सब रास्ते जब बंद हो गए तो क्या करूं?
फिर एक ही खुला दिखता है.
चलो देखते हैं यहां से कुछ जवाब मिल सकता है क्या. So that's why when somebody hits rock bottom, not necessarily that they'll turn towards spirituality,
but there's a good enough reason.
There's a good chance that they can seek or they will seek, because the reason is strong.
But have you seen any people who embrace spirituality at the top of their happiness and joy?
Oh yes, of course. When you look at people who have achieved, they were successful in their careers, successful in building a good family, successful in building a good reputation, successful even in finding a purpose and contributing, then the next question is what more? So one comes to spirituality because of problems,
correct,
which is the problem of scarcity. The other comes to spirituality because of the problem of abundance.
Abundance is a problem. Oh, what do I do now?
What do I do now? Abundance is also a problem, because now I have it all. I've seen it all, I've have it all, I've done it all. What's next?
We are seeing that kind of movement in the West.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that is all through abundance or is there also a low moment, but clearly some of these people are overachievers and they have done it, been there, done that.
Yeah.
And now they say, okay, now what next? Next could be the next level of conquering something, and that could be their own mind.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I think which is exactly why there are multiple levels of motivations with which people can come to spirituality. You'll find a lot of shades. Someone because of disappointment, someone because he's a seeker, someone because of there's abundance and what's next.
Or grief.
Someone because of grief, someone because of curiosity. Curiosity, exploring. The modern youth is a lot about exploring.
Correct.
If we see the Gen Z youth is more about exploring than just problems. I want to explore what it is. You know, there's a lot of this bhajan clubbing thing going on in the country today. And the whole bhajan clubbing scene you've seen is not necessarily people who are just frustrated. Exploring what is this. We've gone to rave parties, we've gone to clubs, we've gone to discotheques, we've gone to holidays, we've gone to all these places, and now there's this new idea called bhajan clubbing. Let's explore what it is all about. What does it give me? What is that experience like? So you could have people coming to a spiritual path because of many different reasons. The good thing is they are coming to something deeper than what is.
Nice.
You know, whatever the reason may be.
Got it.
Spiritual life and accepting spirituality is not about saying that problems won't be there. It is about saying how I won't allow those problems to define my life. It is about saying how I won't allow those problems to enter me unnecessarily. नाव असेल ना सर, समुद्रामध्ये नाव जर असेल, एक छोटीशी नाव चालली असेल, ते पाणी असतं ना, त्या पाण्यामुळेच ती नाव तरंगते. Is that the right word? The boat is sailing because of the waters. पण तेच पाणी ना त्या नावेला डुबवू पण शकतं. If there's a hole in it. If there's a hole in the boat, the same water that causes its float causes it to sink. The problem was never with the water, sir. The problem was whether you are allowing that water to enter inside the boat. So what is spirituality about? It's not about saying problems will go away. That's such an unrealistic thing. आपण तिकडे सगळे मंदिरात जातात आणि म्हणतात सुख करता दुःख हरता वार्ता विघ्नाची नुर्वी पूर्वी प्रेम कृपा जयाची. माझे तू विघ्न हरतायस, माझे विघ्न घेऊन टाक. अहो, विघ्नहर्ताकडे ही प्रार्थना करू नका, माझे विघ्न घेऊन टाक. प्रार्थना करा की या विघ्नांमुळे माझं जे आयुष्य आहे, माझे जे डिटर्मिनेशन आहे ते जाऊ नये.
Strength.
Don't pray for an easy road, pray for the strength to walk on that road. You know? So I think with my own journey, there have been so many challenges and there'll continue to be challenges, sir. Till my last breath. I always say the takeoff of the flight is not in our control. The landing of the flight is not in our control. And the turbulence is also not in our control. Birth is takeoff, death is landing, and the turbulence in between is all this mayhem that problems are causing us. What are we expecting? A turbulence-free ride in the world? Nobody's ride has been turbulence-free, sir. No monk, nobody. And which is exactly why takeoff, birth was not in my control. Landing, death is not in my control. Turbulence, the problems that come from factors beyond my control. I didn't cause them. Are not in my control. What is in my control?
To buckle up.
To buckle up. The journey, what I do during the flight. That is absolutely in my control, sir. And that's exactly why it's not about challenges not being there. It's about not allowing those challenges to overwhelm you. And I'm not saying I don't want to be larger than thou ever. I don't want to be larger than life image of mine, never. As a human being, each one of us will have those moments where we can get overwhelmed with challenges. Each one of us has those moments, right? For a moment, you can kind of get taken aback and say, my God, tired of this. You can have those moments. We're human beings. Like I said earlier, are we rocks? धोंड्याला लात मारा काही नाही होत सर. माणसाला लात मारा कसं वाटेल? धोंड्याला शिव्या द्या काय होतं का? नाही. माणसाला शिव्या द्या काय होईल? धोंड्याला किती काही प्रॉब्लेम, त्याला काही प्रॉब्लेम, पण त्याच्या आजूबाजूला मोठमोठे JCB लावले काही त्याला काही प्रॉब्लेम आहे का? आपल्या आजूबाजूला जर तसे मोठमोठे प्रॉब्लेम आले तर आपण काही धोंडे नाही ना सर. मनुष्य आहोत आपण. आणि मनुष्य असल्यामुळे त्या वेदना होणार, ओव्हरवेल्म होणार आपण कधी कधी. The question is not whether I get overwhelmed. The question is how quickly can I bounce back and not allow that to overwhelm me, continuously overwhelm me. You know, that's what it is about. That's what it is about. And therefore, I often give a small formula that's very helpful. It has helped me tremendously in my life. Tremendously. म्हणजे तुम्ही शशी कपूर आणि आपलं हा दिवार पिक्चर पाहिलं?
या ऑफकोर्स.
दिवारमध्ये शशी कपूर आणि अमिताभ बच्चनचा डायलॉग आहे ना. शशी कपूर अमिताभ बच्चनला म्हणतो, मेरे पास अमिताभ बच्चन म्हणतो, मेरे पास बंगला है, मेरे पास गाड़ी है, मेरे पास नौकर है, मेरे पास चाकर है, तेरे पास क्या है? शशी कपूर, मेरे पास माँ है. फुल सेंटी स्वॅग. आणि 2026 मुंबईमध्येच होत आहे. अमिताभ बच्चन, माझ्याकडे मेरे पास लैम्बोर्गिनी है, मेरे पास बेंटली है, मेरे पास रोल्स रॉयस है, मेरे पास फरारी है, तेरे पास क्या है? शशि कपूर, मेरे पास पार्किंग स्पेस है. इन अ सिटी लाइक मुंबई, पार्किंग स्पेस इज मोर एक्सपेंसिव देन द कार, सर. Oh, I am still cracking the silly joke is to share with you that whatever brand of the car we are driving, here's a car that I would like to offer. And in this car, the C stands for change what you can change about your problem.
Okay.
There's a problem.
What you can.
What you can. See what is in your control. See what is changeable. See what can be dealt with. Don't just give up. Sometimes people just give up. Nahi honar. I can't do this. Check what you can do. Spirituality is not to make us helpless. Spirituality is there to make us empowered.
Wow.
Spirituality is not a helpless crutch. It is an empowering tool. So check, what is it that I can change? The C in the car stands for change what you can change. So yes, in my problem there's something that I can change, but there's also something that I can't change.
Sure.
So the A in the car stands for accept what you can't change. Peace comes from acceptance. Empowerment comes from changing things. Certain things need to be changed, where you feel empowered and hope, and certain things need to be accepted because you need to be peaceful. Correct. Otherwise, that's constantly disturbing you. जे बदलू शकत नाही, काय करणार तुम्ही? या भिंतीवर डोकं आपटलं ना सर, तर भिंत हलणार नाही, आपल्या डोक्याला इजा होईल. अशा कित्येक गोष्टी असतात ना, आपल्या हातात नसतात, त्याच्यावर डोकं मारून मारून स्वतःला रोजची इजा करून घेतो आपण. मेंटली ज्या गोष्टी बदलू शकत नाही त्याच्यावर डोकं का आपटतोय आपण? ती लोक जेव्हा आपण बदलू शकत नाही त्या लोकांवर का आपण डोकं आपटतोय? ही परिस्थिती जी आपण बदलू शकत नाही त्या परिस्थितीवर का आपण डोकं आपटतोय? अहो, डोकं आपटून ते नाही बदलणार आहे. ती भिंत आहे, विटांची भिंत नाही, ती दगडांची भिंत आहे. नाही हलणार ती. तुमच्या डोक्याला इजा पोचेल, रक्त येईल. आपण ना सर प्रॉब्लेम नाही, आपण स्वतःला त्या प्रॉब्लेममुळे इजा करून घेतोय. हा प्रॉब्लेम आहे. द प्रॉब्लेम इज नॉट द प्रॉब्लेम. द प्रॉब्लेम वी आर कॉझिंग टू अवरसेल्व्स बिकॉज द प्रॉब्लेम इज द प्रॉब्लेम. अदरवाइज प्रॉब्लेम इज टू एव्हरीबडी. वी गेट all of us get our fair share of the problems. Therefore, A in the car stands for accept what you can't change. But there are certain things we can't even accept, sir. काही गोष्टी असतात ते स्वीकारणं पण फार अवघड होतं. एक आमच्या आश्रममध्ये एक महिला यायची, 25 वर्षांची होती, आणि तिचं लग्न झालं, आमच्याच कम्युनिटीच्या एका मुलाशी लग्न झालं. 6 महिन्यात त्याला कळलं की तो गे आहे. आता त्याचं सेक्शुअल ओरिएंटेशन ते आहे ना, त्याच्यात काय चॅलेंज करणार सर? हां, आहे, वस्तुस्थिती आहे, त्याला ती वस्तुस्थिती स्वीकारून करून जगायचं आहे. पण त्याने लग्न करायला नको होतं ना, कमीत कमी. दॅट्स ओके, व्हॉट ही इज चॉजन इज हिज लाईफ. बट बिकॉज ऑफ द मॅरेज ही वॉज ब्रिंगिंग मेन होम. तर हिला इतका त्रास झाला त्याचा. चेंज व्हॉट यू कॅन चेंज. व्हॉट कॅन शी चेंज इन दिस सिच्युएशन सर? कॅन शी चेंज हिज वायरिंग? कॅन ही चेंज हिज ओरिएंटेशन? नो, इट्स हिम. अँड इज इट रॉंग? नथिंग रॉंग और राईट देअर. इट्स जस्ट द सिच्युएशन. करेक्ट? Accept what you can't change and live with it. She can't. काय करणार मग? बदलू पण शकत नाही, स्वीकारू पण शकत नाही. बघणाऱ्या ना, आपल्या पॉडकास्टला बघणाऱ्या, आपल्या कॉन्व्हर्सेशनला बघणाऱ्या कित्येक लोकांच्या आयुष्यामध्ये अशा गोष्टी चालू आहेत सर. ती परिस्थिती बदलू शकत नाही,
नाही बोल.
पण स्वीकार करून जगू शकत नाही. So many such situations. I mean, I'm telling you, everybody who's watching this will have something like this going on in their life, that they're just stuck. So in this girl's case, the R in the car stands for remove yourself from a situation where you can. So she divorced him. That was the natural for herself and for him both, for the good of both.
Agreed.
She took a divorce. That was our remove. But in many cases, even that's not possible. Somebody is working in an office, toxic boss, toxic colleagues, toxic culture, toxic to the core. Opportunities are rare. Can't get another opportunity. Change what you can change. What change will I bring here? Accept what I can't change. What acceptance? It's so toxic. Remove myself from this situation. Well, I would love to, but I don't have an opportunity. Then what to do? मग काय करायचं? This seems to be like a crash course on problem solving.
No, but that's where you said that sometimes you choose to be courageous, to put food on the table and stay, but that's courage.
Courage. That's where that R has another connotation also.
Correct.
So change what you can, accept what you can't change, remove yourself from what you can't accept. But when you can't remove, then that R means something else. बदलू पण शकत नाही, स्वीकारू पण शकत नाही आणि बाहेर जाऊ पण शकत नाही. तिथेच राहायचंय. मी रेकमेंड नाही करत आहे, पण परिस्थिती अशी असते कित्येक वेळा. वस्तुस्थिती अशी असते. मग काय करणार? That R stands for rise above what is unacceptable. Rise above what you can't remove yourself from. And what does that rise above mean? आपण जेव्हा विमानात बसतो ना आणि टेक ऑफ होतं विमानाचं, जेव्हा खाली असतो तेव्हा ती बिल्डिंग एवढी मोठी दिसते आपल्याला विमानातनं. जितकं आपण वर जायला लागतो त्या विमानाची उंची कमी नाही होत सर. पण आपण त्याच्या वर उठल्यामुळे त्या आपल्यासाठी नगण्य व्हायला लागते ती बिल्डिंग. मग आपण बदलू शकत नाही, स्वीकारू शकत नाही, त्या परिस्थितीनं निघू शकत नाही ना, मग आतनं आपल्याला ती भरारी घेतली पाहिजे वर. इंटरनल फ्लाईट, वर उठलं पाहिजे. का? कारण बाहेरची ती परिस्थिती अशी ओव्हरवेल्मिंग बिल्डिंग सारखी उंच आहे. ती कधी कमी नाही होणार आहे. पण त्याच्या वर जर उठलं ना तर त्याचा प्रभाव जो आहे माझ्यावर तो कमी होईल. ते नगण्य व्हायला लागेल ती बिल्डिंग वर गेल्यावर. अँड दॅट इज वेअर स्पिरिच्युअलिटी फीचर्स इन सर. अँड सो येस, माय लाईफ हॅज हॅड चॅलेंजेस, enough of them, and I know there will be enough of them. But I should tell you something, I'm very grateful to God, very grateful that although there have been challenges, they have not been anything substantially serious, sir. आहे थोडंफार झालंय, जे काही लोकांच्या आयुष्यामध्ये चाललंय ना त्याच्या तुलनेमध्ये काहीच नाही. एक आपले हे होते, काय बरं क्वायंट नाव त्यांचं, तलत मोहम्मद साहेब सिंगर, त्यांचं एक गाणं होतं, दुनिया में कितना गम है, मेरा गम कितना कम है. दुनिया में कितना गम है, मेरा गम कितना कम है, जब उनका गम देखा तो मैं अपना गम भूल गया. माझं काय आहे समोरच्या लोकात काय झालंय ते. सो आय हॅड अ लाईफ, नॉट टू से दॅट देर हॅव बीन नो चॅलेंजेस, बट द चॅलेंजेस हॅवंट बीन एनिथिंग सबस्टॅन्शियली सो बॅड that I would be thrown off course completely. And through those challenges, this car model has helped me tremendously. I always work on what I can change. What I can't change, I accept. What I can remove from, I remove. And what I need to rise above, I rise above. And my only prayer is when I get challenges, troubles, difficulties, which are probably way more too serious, I'm hoping and praying that what I'm very publicly saying, promoting and claiming that it's powerful, I can live by that then too. You know? So yeah, that's life.
what is there a real meaning and purpose to life? Or like some say, we are just playing in a massive video game and we are part of that, we are playing our role, and technically there is no meaning or purpose to life, because now you've touched on how to live your life and to make it meaningful. But what is the real meaning and purpose of life?
When we are children, little children, the purpose is to pass our exams and go to college. तुम्हाला असं वाटलं होतं सर लहानपणी की आता शाळा संपली ना, इथे शाळेचे टीचर्स आणि हे सगळं भाऊ 10वीची परीक्षा झाली की एकदा ना एक मुलगा होता बाबांबरोबरचा रोडवर चालत होता. ही गॉट अ मेसेज फ्रॉम हिज फ्रेंड, 10वीचा मुलगा, our results are going to be out in 5 minutes. So the guy wrote back to his friend, walking with dad, he can take the phone anytime. कधी फोन घेतला आणि पाहिलं तर कोड लँग्वेज में कम्युनिकेट करूयात आपण.
Okay.
If I fail in one subject, say good morning to you, कळेल मला.
Okay.
If I fail in 2 subjects, say good morning to you and papa, कळेल. 5 मिनिटात त्याला मेसेज आला, गुड मॉर्निंग टू यू पप्पा, फॅमिली अँड फ्रेंड्स. सगळ्यात उडाला. शाळेत होतो, कॉलेज असंच होतं ना सर, शाळेत कॉलेजमध्ये. वेन वी आर यंगर, वेन वी आर चिल्ड्रन इन स्कूल अँड कॉलेजेस, our purpose, our meaning is about just that world. Correct. To finish that, get good grades, right, and move out. When that meaning and purpose expands as young adults, correct, where we now start discovering and defining our abilities, not just academics. हे काय करू शकतो मी? My meaning and purpose expands, sir. ती circle expand झाली आहे ती.
Correct.
Now I'm thinking, should I do this? Should I do this? Can I do this? Can I do not do this? Then I see now this is what I can do and I can monetize this. My circle of purpose expands even further. I either start a business out of it or take a job based on my skill set or whatever I have. Now my purpose is expanded to creating value out of what I have. Correct. It began with learning. Then it grew to defining and developing abilities. Then that purpose and meaning expanded to monetizing, creating value out of it. Furthermore, it grows into, oh, I've already become of this value, now I need to grow in value because now I need to provide a wonderful life for my wife, my children, my family. My purpose has gone beyond me.
Sure.
जिथे मी फक्त माझ्याबद्दल विचार करत होतो, आता त्यांच्याबद्दल विचार करतो की कसं आहे, अन्न कसं चांगलं द्यायचं. राईट. देन आय बिकम, माय सर्कल ऑफ पर्पज एक्सपॅन्ड्स अ बिट मोर सर टू माय कम्युनिटी. माझं मराठी मंडळ आहे, माझं गुजराती मंडळ आहे, माझं तामिळनाडू मंडळ आहे, मल्याळम मंडळ आहे. आय एम कनेक्टेड विथ देम, आय गिव्ह ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज टू देम. If I have a opening in my organization, I will say, oh, तू मैं भी मल्लू है, तू भी मल्लू है, तेरा वर्ड डाल के देखता हूँ मैं. I'm still going beyond myself, but restricted to community. Right. Now there my purpose expands as I continue working. Community hai, but even in my work, I start thinking now I'm creating value for myself from that work, but I also need to see how I add value through my work. Now I'm not just making value for myself, I'm creating value for others too. I'm doing the same software stuff. But earlier it was just to make money, but now it's to help someone solve a problem. My purpose expanded. You know. Then slowly it expands to my nation, my country. I start feeling that I'm a small little part of a larger thing. A larger thing. Slowly it expands to the world. Ayam nijah paro vetti gananam laghuchetasam. What is that next line? Vasudhaiva kutumbakam, right? I am nijah paro vetti. This is me and that is you and this is mine and that is yours. Laghu chetasam, very constricted mindset, right? But when we start looking at everybody as one family, that becomes Vasudhaiva kutumbakam, which is a very core idea of this nation. Now I'm not doing anything different, sir. I'm not a freedom fighter. I'm not a revolutionary someone. I'm not an activist. I'm not going out and starting a non-profit. I'm just playing my role in nation building and contributing to the world. I'm doing what I'm doing every day, but with a different intention. Purpose is not always about doing big things. Meaning is not always about doing big things. That I start a big thing, something there. Purpose and meaning can just mean a small shift of intention. It was just for me, it was just for value, it was just for family, it was just for community, now it's for the nation, now it's for the world. Right. And which is exactly why when competition slowly moves to contribution, meaning and purpose evolves. Right. From competition to collaboration to contribution, meaning and purpose evolves. So yes, there is meaning. Yes, there is purpose. It slowly and steadily expands. And the further it expands, you start questioning, iske baad kya? That's how we started our conversation. Okay, I created value, I contributed, I gave, I did everything I could, seen it all, done it all, had it all. What's next? That's where then spirituality comes in to give you philosophy of a realm beyond this realm. What most ancient epics have called moksha, nirvana, right? Emancipation, freedom is then there. What is there? Is there something above, beyond? Or is this the video game where everything ends? The game is over, everything is over? Or if the game is over, is the next game there? Mm-hmm. Then you dwell into the space of philosophy. Right? So I think it's like a lake. When you put a pebble, this concentric circles moving towards the banks, our purpose slowly evolves like that. Right? And it doesn't have to be anything grand. It doesn't have to be anything big. It can begin with something as simple as making our families happy and making sure that they are well taken care of, but with that intention.
If you are in that concentric circle.
If you're in that concentric circle, it could begin with simple things like kindness, compassion. Kindness is not always expressed just through giving some resources. Kindness can be expressed to just giving some support. Just brightening somebody's day. With the intention to brighten somebody's day.
And not just your family, but your community, but your state, but your country, but to people.
And to some random.
And animals
random
and any life.
Any life that we are impacting. And even if we say it's a video game in which everything kind of seems to be controlled, okay, even if we take that premise, we still have to play the video game with using all the controls. So let's do that and play the game well.
Let's win at the game.
Let's win at the game. Let's create value for ourselves. Let's create value for others. Let's make the world a better place. Let's be kind. Let's be compassionate. If it's not a video game, fantastic. There was purpose. There was meaning. If it's still a video game, why not be kind and make the world a better place? Why not be kind and let the kindness come back to you? Either case.
Interesting.
In either case, it's beautiful to keep expanding that circle.
Like the universe does, and we are part of the universe.
We are part of the universe, indeed. Indeed.
If the universe is expanding, we have to expand together with that through our purpose.
Absolutely.
So, does that mean that in this realm, the last concentric circle in that lake would end with spirituality?
The last circle doesn't end with spirituality. Spirituality can come to us from the very beginning.
Correct, but then you're...
Yeah, but the emancipation that we are talking about, evolution, that could possibly be that last circle.
Last circle.
Because spiritual evolution is not a day's job. It takes years and years and years of practice and sadhana to be able to probably come there. So yes, that in one sense we can say that. In terms of its result, yes. In terms of the process, it can begin from early childhood too.
Of course. Like you said, spirituality can express itself in our day-to-day living as well.
Yes, absolutely.
You just have to be aware of that.
Absolutely. Intentions.
The flow zone. Yeah. You have done engineering, and I'm sure you often sort of dwell into the realm of science and spirituality and start thinking about how these two come together. What is your take on that? You know, science is evidence-based, spirituality is an art, but at the end of the day, even things like the string theory and quantum, all of that is coming towards trying to say that yes, it's the same experience that this world will have.
I think a lot of times they're seen as rivals for some reason.
Shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. Science and spirituality are not rivals. Science gets into the space of how the world works. All theories
Correct.
about how the world works based on data, information, research. We look at all of this evidence. That's science. Spirituality dwells in the space of why the world exists. What am I here in the world for? So if I understand this world works like this, one space. What am I meant to be doing in this world? Another space. Both are meant to be complementing each other, not being rivals with each other. Science. How do things work in the brain? Right? Give elaborate description of how things can, all the different parts of the brain. Right? Evidence-based, research-based. Spirituality, getting into the mind. Hatred, jealousy, ego, insecurity. Consciousness. How do you handle that? Right? Spirituality. Whereas science is working in the space of exploring the outside world, spirituality is working in the space of exploring the inside world. And each one of us has both these worlds. We have to deal with the world outside, we have to deal with the world inside. Right? And when it comes to dealing with the world inside, that's where spiritual wisdom starts playing its role very strongly. Science can make a person smarter. Spirituality can make a person wiser. And what a wonderful world it would be to have smart, wise human beings living together. Right? People who are smart and people who are wise. Smartness is evidence-based. Wisdom is experience-based. Right? I can't quantify how much insecurity I feel. I can tell you at best, on a scale of 0 to 10, I feel insecure about this person, 6. What evidence can I give to quantify my insecurity? Nothing.
There's no data.
No data. My grief. How can I quantify my grief? I can't. So when science and spirituality start working together, which they were always, at some point in time you kind of start taking, contrarian views. Spiritualists think science is not right and science thinks spirituality is not this. And then kind of an apparent rivalry kind of starts coming back in. In Sanskrit, there is a nyaya. Sanskrit mein ek nyaya hai. It's called the Andha Pangu nyaya. Andha means someone who is visually challenged, can't see. And Pangu means someone who is challenged and has no legs, so can't walk. Now both the visually challenged and someone who has no legs, physically challenged, both of them are standing and are meant to cross a road. One has legs but no vision. The other has vision but no legs. What if both come together and collaborate? Right. One gives the vision, the other gives the legs. Both cross the road together in complete harmony with each other, with no rivalry at all.
And safely.
And reach where they are meant to reach. That's what science and spirituality is about. If science is about information, spirituality is about transformation. If science is about data, spirituality is about direction. Right? If I have all the data and if I have everything in the world I know, what am I going to use it for? Wisdom tells me wisdom is what brings meaning and purpose. So I have never seen them as rivals. And I don't think anybody should.
No. There's no
We may have differences in our discussions based on evidence may not always agree with things that are written in the book, and what is written in the books, what is science may not agree with the things written in the spiritual books, and spiritualists may not always agree necessarily with the evidence. That doesn't matter. We are not here to agree and disagree all the time.
And objective and subjective.
Objective and subjective is always
coexist.
should coexist.
If there is no subject to the object.
Exactly. That's the inner and the outer world, right? Subjective and objective must exist together. When they are in tandem with each other and when they work together, what a beautiful place the world would be. Imagine how much science and technology has contributed to the world, right? All our travel, all our healthcare, all our communication, everything. Tell me one area of life which is sans science and technology. None. Right? Now, imagine we had all of that and we didn't have a spiritual foundation to tell us how to live a life that's better.
It's going to be anarchy.
Anarchy. Imagine a world which has all of this and no character. And that's where we see when people have no character, then they start using the same evidence, the same stuff, the same research, the same stuff for destruction, not for constructive purposes. So direction is so important as well, right? So I think both are very harmoniously and beautifully, I would say, gel in with each other. And it's not one without the other.
And the more you focus inside, in the inside world, don't you see the outside world within the inside world? And then you say that, oh my God, it exists inside.
Oh yeah, you do. You do. You know, the more you focus on your inside world, your ability to see changes. How you see, how you perceive, how you experience changes. Right? So you can see the outside in the inside, but you can also see the inside in the outside. Because the whole world starts becoming a mirror of your own consciousness.
I believe in the Gita, Krishna showed the Brahmand in his jaw.
Yeah, there is a Vishwarup Darshan in the 11th
the Brahmand
chapter.
is in his jaw, that means the Brahmand is inside you.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is that possibility to be able to see like that. So which is what spirituality contributes. So both have so much to add, so much to give, so much to contribute, so much to transform, right? When they work together.
And when you, I don't know whether you read newspapers, but when you hear and see about wars that are currently happening and have always happened and will happen in the future, given how humanity operates.
Yes.
How do you look at that from your vantage point? And what do you make out of those people who either start or lead these wars?
The first thing is, whenever I look at a war, I don't look at a war from the point of view of nations and politics first. I look at it from the point of view of the people who are going through all the suffering because of the wars that are happening.
Correct.
Innocent people who had nothing to do with anything.
Including soldiers. They are innocent people.
Innocent people, just doing their duty, not necessarily subscribing to the war. Right. A mother separated from a son is what I see. A child dying is what I see. People having no food to eat is what I see. Families having to leave their home and hearth and go to other parts of the world is what I see.
And come back without legs.
Come back without legs and arms and going through all that pain and suffering is what I see. Soldiers, like you rightly said, who are there doing their sense of duty, their families are devastated and shattered is what I see. So before I see anything in a war, I see the lives of millions of innocent people becoming paralyzed, affected, shattered for no fault of theirs. Right? They are not the ones who are fighting over ideologies. They are not the ones who are fighting over pieces of lands. They are not the ones who are fighting over religious differences. No, none of that. They are just rank and file general people. Good people who have the right to live their lives the way everybody else in the world has. But that's what I first see. And that's why my prayers go first. I offer prayers always, every day, when any such things happening in the world. Because there's very less that we could do in terms of resolving it ourselves. We don't have to be helpless. Collectively, let's at least pray. Let's at least send the right kind of energy. If there's something that we could do in our capacity, let's do to help. Whatever we can. That's one. When I look at it from the point of view of nations fighting, like you pointed out, wars happening there, people leading wars, I am forced to think of a verse from the Gita, which says, Dhyayate vishayo pumsam sangasteshopajayate sangat sanjayate kamat krodho bijayate krodhat bhavati sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti bhramshat buddhi nashat pranashyati. Now this verse beautifully encapsulates a series of things that could happen. Dhyayate vishayo pumsam. When you have a desire, when you have a mindset, when you're led by greedy ambition, right? There is a difference between greed and ambition. When ambition crosses the line of ethics, it becomes greed. Within the line of ethics, it's ambition. Across that line, it becomes greed. Right? So when that greed overwhelms somebody, that desire overwhelms somebody, that desire is not necessarily for a piece of land. That desire is for dominion. That desire is to show my ego. That desire could be for anything. When we talk of desire, we always talk of a thing or a piece. No, a desire could be anything. When that desire comes, dhyayate vishayo pumsan, one keeps dwelling on it. Sangasteshu tvajayate, one becomes obsessed with it. Thinking is one thing, obsession is another. Thinking is in your own world, obsession is in the world. There's my world and the world. In my world, I can have whatever I want, but then it's affecting the world. So, dhyayate vishaya pumsa sangasteshopajayate, desire or greed leading to obsession. Sangat sanjayate kamat. That obsession leads to now
Action.
I want it. Hell or high waters, I want it. Kamat krodho bijayate. But when I don't get it, frustration leads to anger. Kamat krodho bijayate. When anger comes in, krodhat bhavati sammohat. Clouded thinking. Anger, no clarity leads to clouded thinking. Sammohat smriti vibhramat. One loses the sense of discrimination of what's right and wrong. Smriti bhamshat buddhi nashaha. With that, intelligence is lost. Good intelligence is lost. Anybody giving good counsel, it's lost. Mandodari told Ravan 1,000,000 times. Vibhishan told Ravan 1,000,000 times. Hanuman told Ravan 1,000,000 times. Buddhi nashat. And then buddhi nashat pranashyati. That's where downfall begins. So when I look at it all from this lens, then I see it all starts with that desire and that greed, that wanting to prove.
The
ego. But then I kind of think, nations is one thing. Look at it in relationships, at homes, families, friends, workplace. This entire chain happens, sir.
There are wars happening. At every level.
We are happy to have in the media we cover wars that are happening between nations. There are wars that are happening between families. There are wars that are happening between colleagues. Right. So we may or may not have complete control over what's happening on a macro level. We don't really. We don't. All we do is we know we can send prayers, we can send help like we said, and we hope that things get resolved. Meanwhile, we also say how do we save our own boat? How do we save our own ship in the middle of all the mayhem that's going on because of any war that happens? But we do have a lot of control over the wars that are happening at the micro level in our lives. How much control do I have a war that's happening across a border? What can you and me do? Talk about it. But there's a war that's happening in this room between you and me. There's a lot we can do about it, sir. sit down, talk, communicate, listen, function not based on assumptions but on understanding. Right? Learn that we can replace hatred with compassion. We can learn to replace harshness with sensitivity. All these things are things that are within the scope of our control. So while we are talking about the wars out there,
And sometimes wars within yourself.
I was going to say that. Thank you for bringing that up. And then there's a whole war between our own self. A war between the apparent right and the wrong. A war between the good and the bad. Good and bad, right and wrong is not so much in the world outside. That's morally we say good, bad, right, wrong is all there. The world says. But even we have a radar inside. Everybody who's watching will know that at one point they were going to do something, there was a voice saying, nahi, nahi. करने जा रहा हुआ अंदर से आवाज आ रहा था नहीं मत नहीं यार मत कर ऐसा मत बोल ऐसा यार मत लिखिए मैसेज मत लिखिए the voice was saying I ignored it and I wrote that message. See what's the situation today. It was a battle. There's a war inside between that voice and us, and what wins depends on what we feed. Which side we feed. If we feed our lower self, the lower self will win and will keep hitting the higher self and put it under the carpet. If we feed the higher self, it will win over the lower self. So that's what spirituality and wisdom is about. Learning how to feed that higher self regularly. That battle between the lower and the higher self is an ongoing battle every single day between every decision that we need to make, from personal to professional to political to all levels.
And even for a monk.
Everybody. Everybody. You think all this fanfare can't get into a monk's head? Monk is a human being. There will be a battle between the lower and the higher self. When the lower self says, oh look, that's how many people follow you, that's how many people look at you. You are no less than anybody out there. The lower self will tell us. And then the higher self has to battle it out, say, no. Yes, you are, but who made you who you? God made you who you are. Your Guru made you who you are. The people who follow you make you who you are. If they are not there, who are you? You know what I mean? So that conversation, that battle is constantly on for everybody. And the more we live in awareness, we allow the higher self to rule in a way that lower self doesn't exert its ugly face up and make us decide things that we terribly regret. Do things that we terribly regret. Say things that we terribly regret.
And that's what Gita told. And that is how Gita also explains the right and wrong. And also the concept of this war, whether it is a macro level or even at a micro level.
Correct.
And so if you had to give like 3 principles from the Gita to a young person today, what would those be? Just 3 which they can live by as a youngster, which become fundamental laws of living one's life.
Right. What you brought up was beautiful, because at the end of the day, the setting for the whole Gita to be spoken was the battlefield.
Correct.
To show that wisdom helps resolve battles. Krishna did not choose a palace to speak the Gita. Krishna did not choose an ashram to speak the Gita. Krishna did not choose a Himalayan cave to speak the Gita where things are all peaceful. Krishna chose a battlefield to speak the Gita, to make it extremely real, because each one of us is fighting our own battles. And how can this wisdom help us deal with those battles and navigate through those battles, what the Gita was spoken for? So what is it that the Gita has to offer, like you said, for 3 things that could truly help all of us, especially the youngsters? Number 1, do not fight your battles alone. खुद की लड़ाइयाँ अकेले मत लड़ो. अकेले लड़ने की एक सीमा होती है. There's a limit to how much you can struggle and fight alone. After a limit, the more you try to fight it back, the more you sink in. It becomes like quicksand. The more you try to come out, the more it pulls you in. That's what was happening with Arjun in the first chapter of the Gita. He was trying to reason it all out, fight his battles all by himself, trying to say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to fight this war, I don't want to do this, but it was all his own thing. And at a point in time he realized, मुझसे अकेले से नहीं होगा. हर देखने वाले को कहना चाह रहा हूँ, अपनी लड़ाइयाँ अकेले मत लड़िए. अकेले लड़ाइयाँ लड़ने की क्षमता बहुत सीमित होती है. कुछ चीज़ें अकेली लड़ी जा सकती है और लड़नी भी चाहिए, लेकिन कई ऐसी चीज़ें होती है जो अकेले से नहीं होगी. Which is why Arjun turned to Krishna. In the second chapter of the Gita, Arjun turned to Krishna saying, Karpanya dosho pahatas svabhava prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yat shreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste ham shadimam tvam prapannam. I'm confused. I'm finished. I don't know the way out now. Help. Seeking help and being vulnerable is not weakness. Being vulnerable and seeking help is the biggest strength that we have, because our strength has limits. We need to connect with strength that is beyond ourselves to help us out of where we are. So please learn this from the second chapter of the Gita, verse number 7, where Arjun turns to Shri Krishna. That I can't fight this alone now. Please help me, guide me, tell me how to take this further. Right? The second thing that I would say that's very critical and important to understand from the Gita is, like I said earlier, question every answer. We have become a world of accepting narratives. In the Gita, when Sri Krishna speaks different philosophies, ideologies, different forms of yoga, different proposals he gives to Arjun, Arjun doesn't accept it blindly.
Oh.
All through the Gita, Arjun has been counter-questioning Krishna on what he has said. So spirituality is not about blind acceptance, nor is life. Don't accept your partners to get married to them blindly. Question, check, ask. Don't take up a job, a startup, work blindly. Question, check, ask, tune in, be aware. Don't accept a spiritual path blindly. Questioning is critical. The Gita is full of questions, not answers. The answers were given, but Arjun kept questioning, kept questioning, kept questioning, kept questioning. Puchiye. Puchiye. Silence doesn't mean things are going well. आपके रिश्ते में घर पे शांति है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि सब सही चल रहा है. बात कीजिए, पूछिए.
Puchiye, how are you?
वर्क में सब ठीक शांति है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि सब सही चल रहा है. पूछिए, कुछ गड़बड़ है क्या, क्या है, क्यों? Questions, sir. We accept things as status quo and everything seems to be uncle. No, it's not. Things are not good just because they're quiet. And the third thing that I would like to say about from the Gita is, after everything is being given, Shri Krishna tells Arjun that I have given you everything now. Now karishye vachanam tav yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. Now you do what you want. If I've taught you everything now, I've given you everything, I'm not controlling you. I'm not asking you do it this way. Now, you're free to use your deliberate your discretion, and then choose the line of action. And therefore my third thing that I would like to say is, Gita tells us that each one of us has tremendous potential to make our choices. Make informed choices. Don't become just a victim of the noise around that you forget to listen to the voice within. Of course, what Krishna told Arjun was not noise. Very powerful things that he told him. But Krishna still gave him the choice to say, I'm not dictating, you choose, listen. And that's when Arjun says, Karishye vachanam tava, I'll do what you ask me to. Then, of course, Krishna says, now let's go fight. So these three things I think are very critical and important to remember, sir. The number one, be vulnerable. Seek help. Don't fight your battles alone because there's a limit to how much your strength can allow you to handle those things. Number two, ask questions. Don't accept status quo and think things are fine, whether at home, in relationships, at work, in your spirituality, wherever. Ask questions. And third, when the answers come, don't forget to listen to your own voice and use your potential to make the decision. You know why? Because you have to live with the consequences of your decision. A girl came up to me and asked me, I am 3 months pregnant. The guy who I was in a relationship with me doesn't want to get married to me now. My family doesn't know that I was in a relationship with this guy. And now he doesn't want to accept the child. I'm in a dilemma. To keep the child or drop the child. Keeping the child means the world will know. Who's the father? What do I say? What do I tell my parents? And dropping the child means this is my first child.
It's killing the child.
I will have to live with this guilt and trauma in my world. मेरा पहला बच्चा मैंने पहला conception था वो मेरा. She's asking me, what should I do? You tell me. And that's the one easiest thing to do. Put it on others. That's exactly what Arjun was trying to do. Tell Krishna, tell me. Facilitate. Krishna facilitated, didn't instruct. That's what a good leader is. Facilitates, doesn't instruct. So then I told this girl, I said, look, whichever choice you make, there's going to be some collateral damage with it. You choose keeping the child, your image, how you face society. You choose dropping the child, your feelings, what you go through. I said to her, I don't have to live with the consequences of the choice. You have to. And because you have to live with the consequences of your choice, you decide which way you want to go, whichever way, and stand strong by it. And then come to me. If you choose this, come to me now to see what support I can give you to help stand strong in this. If you choose this, come to me to see what support you need in standing by this choice. I'm there with you this way or that way, but I'm not going to live with that. You are going to live with it.
Amazing.
So you make that choice.
Amazing.
It's hard, it's difficult.
But that's the courage part. Both need extreme courage.
Both need extreme courage. And that's Gita, sir. Empowers us. Empowers us to deliberate. And with that discretion and deliberation, then make that choice. That's the third thing that I was sharing between Krishna and Arjun. So these are the three things I think the youth should know. Don't fight your battles alone, because in the world today, mental health is a big, big challenge. Akhele ladne se, if needed, professional help and all that is there. But emotional support, बात करो, बोलो अपने दिल की बात. दिल में रखने से नहीं होता है. अकेले लड़ नहीं पाते हैं.
No, if you're not feeling well, you have to tell the doctor.
You have to tell the doctor. You have to talk. And sometimes you don't even need to go at that level. Sometimes just opening your heart to somebody close.
Sure. But that's treatment.
That's treatment. It's very healing. Very healing.
You mentioned leadership is facilitation, and you have led millions now on a path, and again, their choice. You've just shown the path. What you do with that is your own choice. But millions have followed you, millions you have led. Beyond facilitation, how do you see leadership beyond the corporate language currently being spoken about leadership? What are those simple tenets of leadership?
Yeah, I think 2-3 things. Number one is, how am I leading myself? A good leader to others is first a good leader to oneself.
And that's different from lead by example?
No, not lead by. This is leading the self, not lead by example. Right. Here's a few questions I ask my own self. Right. When I'm talking about leading myself. ये सवाल मैं खुद को पूछता हूँ. Question number 1. Can I manage my own emotions?
Okay.
Can I stay calm under pressure? Am I honest enough to admit my mistake when I make one? Am I honest enough if I make a mistake? Do I have the honesty to admit that I made a mistake? That's self-leadership. That's not seen by the world. Right? Am I okay to do the right thing even when nobody is watching? That's self-leadership. When everybody is watching, in a position of a leader, I'm going to have to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But when nobody is watching, do I do the right thing? So those are the questions that I ask myself when I'm talking about self-leadership. Right? I can stay calm under pressure. Not all the time. Like I said, human being thoda hoga, but I can bounce back quickly. I'm okay to admit that I made a mistake. If not with the world, with myself and with all my stakeholders and whoever matters. I can try and see if I'm doing the right things when nobody is watching. Now, all of these things build the foundation of how everything else follows outside.
Because then you don't really have to lead.
You're leading automatically, sir.
Correct.
You're leading automatically, sir. If I can stay calm under pressure, 10 people can come and give me pressure. I'm calm and I'm thinking out of that calmness and leading. What is the precedent I'm sitting around? Calmness से काम अच्छा होता है. शांत रह के काम अच्छा होगा. चिल्ला चिल्ला के और आवाज करके क्या होगा? आपने आके कुछ बोला, I get worked up, and then I make a decision, and everybody sees that the decision wasn't the right thing to do. What is the precedent I set around? That you get worked up, and it's all right to do things that way. So I do it to my subordinates too. So I think self-leadership before leading others. Number 2 is somebody said something very beautiful, and I'm not kind of comparing or contrasting anything, but he said, when you talk to managers, they make you feel that they are important. And when you talk to leaders, they make you feel that you are important.
Wow. What a beautiful
So
distinction.
who's a good leader? A good leader is somebody who makes subordinate feel important, valued. I don't know if it was Theodore Roosevelt. I put it in my book, but I don't know if this is controversy who said it. But this statement was, I don't care how much you know, sir, till the time I know how much you care. I don't care how much you know and how experienced and how skilled you are, till the time I know that how much you actually care about us. So good leadership is very people-centric. Because it's people who are delivering, sir. Whether it's a spiritual organization, a corporate organization, or a government, it's people who are delivering. It's not robots. It's not artificial intelligence that's delivering. Artificial intelligence is a great tool. It adds tremendous value and we must use it. It's brilliant. Brilliant. But it's people who are slogging it out to make everything happen.
Yeah.
So good leadership is people-centric. Because when people are happy, people are satisfied, people are inspired, people feel motivated, they give their blood, sweat and tears to do what needs to be done. But if they are not, then they cut corners. Cutting corners is less because of work conditions and pay and all of that stuff. Cutting corners is more because of not feeling a sense of value. So I feel that's very critical about what a good leader is as well.
This is so different from the mainstream language of have a vision, and none of that becomes important if you don't have.
None of that. Because if you have all of that, but your people are not with you, what value is the vision?
You just said you can't win a battle
You can't
alone.
win a battle alone. You can't win a battle alone. And yes, I must also say that there are people who are going to take undue advantage of this. Deal with them rightly. When you are people-centric, there are going to be people who are hardcore, wired wrongly. Deal with them accordingly. That's not a problem. But by and large, people are not like that. Na? There are some tough nuts. By and large, people are good, is my belief. By and large, people are sincere, is my firm belief. By and large, people are wanting to do something good, is my firm belief.
Absolutely.
If only that energy is channelized rightly. And then the third thing about leadership that I often like to share, might be a bit haughty on my part to say it, but coming to my mind, so I'll anyway share it. There's that favorite song of mine, which I love, which says, कल और आएंगे नगमों की खिलती कलियां चुनने वाले, मुझसे बेहतर कहने वाले, तुमसे बेहतर सुनने वाले, कल कोई मुझको याद करे, क्यों कोई मुझको याद करे, मशरूफ ज़माना मेरे लिए, क्यों वक्त अपना बर्बाद करे, मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ, पल दो पल मेरी जवानी है, पल दो पल मेरी हस्ती है, पल दो पल मेरी कहानी है, पल दो पल का हूँ सर मैं.
But that's humility.
पल दो, that's leadership, which means humility. Humility and leadership are synonymous. Say leader, say humble. Say humble, say leader. Right? They are synonymous. If I were to write a dictionary and they say humble, I'd say meaning leader. If I were to put up a dictionary and it says leader, I would say the meaning is humble.
And this is a formula. And if you see how leadership has gone wrong is because those people were not humble enough.
I'll tell you, sir, the problem is arrogance. Success, achievements can tend to get into the head and make us feel so entitled and arrogant. Bhai, kaun hai yaar tu? Is how I feel when I look at somebody. My subordinates feel like that when they look at me sometimes. Kaun hai yaar tu apne aap ke bare mein soch raha hai aisa? If somebody has to think like this about me, I've gone terribly wrong in my leadership. If I draw these feelings out of somebody,
correct.
If everybody around me is thinking like this, and I'm in my own ivory tower, sir, I've done something terribly wrong in the way I'm functioning then. Because if I was doing things right, everybody around would be saying, yaar, क्या बंदा है ये, इसके लिए ना 4 घंटा नहीं मैं 10 घंटा दे दूं. You know what I mean? So which is exactly why when arrogance hits hard, no sir, things starts falling apart very badly. And I've seen spiritual organizations, corporate organizations, nations at times, suffering terribly because of the arrogance of someone at the top. They're not looking at the larger interest of what it is. It's just about them. They're just so full of themselves. They're so full of themselves. Which is why leadership is equal to humility. And humility is not that sheepish kind of, I'm a nothing, I'm a good for I don't mean that. Humility means knowing that I am a no one without everybody else. Humility means giving credit to where it's due.
But this is so fundamental because often we say he's a humble leader. And what you're saying is that that's a wrong thing to
In
say.
one
because
sense,
if
in the context we are discussing,
if you're a leader,
you're
you have to be
automatically
humble.
Yes.
And if you're not humble,
You're
then
not
you
a
cannot
leader.
be any other
You cannot
leader.
be any other leader. Absolutely. 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 You.
Amazing.
I think that's exactly why, beyond all these things, humility inspires so many people down and brings in so much trust in the leaders. That's one thing. But there's a certain kind of an energy that humility brings. The universe aligns. Arrogance means the universe aligns to pull you down. History has been replete with examples, empires, individuals, nations. The universe aligns to pull us down when arrogance becomes prominent.
Yeah, but arrogance makes you blind. You can't even see
It
that.
does. There's a shloka in the Niti Shastras which says, Naivam pashyati janmandha, kamandha naiva pashyati, madonmatta na pashyati, lobhi arthi dosham na pashyati. First one is, Naivam pashyati janmandha. Janmandha is one who was born with no vision, no eyesight. That person can't see. But that person can only not see physically things. That person still has vision, that's no problem, it's just visually challenged. Naiva pashyati janmandha. Kamandha naiva pashyati. One is obsessed with him or her. Can't see. Therefore they say love is blind, marriage is the eye opener. Sorry about that. Kamandha naiva pashyati means sometimes when obsession takes over, not love. When obsession takes over, you stop seeing the real situations there. The person may be characterless, but you can't see.
You are not obsessed with Krishna. You are in love.
I hope.
There's a difference. Yeah. So obsession is not always good. Well, never good.
In this sense, when it
but never good.
Obsession in the wrong sense is always cause that kind of a blindness, right? So kamandha naiva pashyati, madonmatta na pashyati, mada unmatta. Mada unmatta is one who becomes arrogant and drunk on pride and ego. Drunk on ego, right? When somebody gets drunk, na sir, inebriated, alcoholic, completely tipsy, correct? 6-8 घंटे में उतर जाती है सर, सब दिखता है वापस सही.
By that time, you've created a lot of havoc.
But at least you can see with clarity. The havoc is done. But at least after that you see, and people even regret for what they've said.
Correct. That's what.
But when arrogance की चढ़ती है ना सर, उतरती नहीं है. So you just can't see what you're doing around you. The havoc that you're creating, you can't see. There's no regret. Madonmatta na pashyati. And the fourth kind of blind person this verse explains is arthi dosham na pashyati. One who is obsessed by greed, doesn't see fault in any strategy to get that greed fulfilled. Scams, scandals, nothing. I just wanted hell or high waters. Loses the vision to see that there could be a potential damage to me in taking this path. So the 4 kinds of not being able to see, this verse explains. But one of them is arrogance.
Wow.
Makes one completely blind, and it's sad. And one of my prayers always is to, because I follow the Krishna path, I make that prayer that save me from this.
Wow.
Save me from this arrogance.
Even today, you pray for that?
I every single day pray for it, sir.
Wow.
I every single day pray for it, because when you are in a position that everybody is watching is when things attack the worst. Right? When you're not seen, things go wrong, it's not a big deal. But when you're out there and things go wrong, you can imagine what kind of devastation and mistrust it creates. And we are all potential to all of these, what is the word? Malices. We all potential victims.
Yeah.
Potential candidates, shall I say, not victim, potential candidates to go through it. So yes, one of my prayers is this to Krishna. Krishna, please let me be filled with you so that I
stay away from
no. So I say,
arrogance.
please make me empty of myself so that I can be a bit more filled with you. We're so full of ourselves. So full of ourselves.
But see your prayer also, sir. You're not saying keep me humble. You're saying keep me away from arrogance and being full of myself. There's a big difference. Because keep me humble is still in the greed zone.
Not sure about that. But yeah, that to me is leadership, sir. And wherever it is, if it's in a corporate organization, when I see such leaders, I have no problem bowing down and saying,
Wow.
this is what leadership. It's a spiritual leader like that. I don't have problems bowing down. There's a celebrity like that. I don't have a problem bowing down. There's a younger person who's 20 years younger to me who has all these qualities. I'll offer him a full dandavat, a full pranam saying, incredible.
But that's the power of humility. And that's the power of leadership.
But that's it. Wherever you see it, it just draws that out of you, right?
Correct.
It draws that respect out of you. So imagine if you're leading people like that, what does it draw from the people who you lead when they see that? What would you draw from the people who you lead? And I've been trying to hammer this in the people who have worked with me. Right? Some get it, some don't get it. Some just don't get it. So that's what it is.
You are an engineer. You must be using a lot of technology yourself. So what is your advice to the youngsters in this technological age to navigate their lives meaningfully? You know, and like you said, artificial intelligence is a fantastic tool.
Correct, it is.
I think artificial intelligence should not be called artificial. It should be really called assistive.
Correct. Yeah, that's a brilliant one. Brilliant.
You know,
Very good one.
it really assists
I
your
like
own
it.
intelligence.
Like, beautiful.
Anyway, so
Yeah. Technology and me. Imagine I'm an engineer.
I know. I can see some gadgets on your hand.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. Tech savvy.
Of course.
Monk with a swag. Hashtag monk swag.
Why not? Why not? Right? Monks have the biggest swag. I mean, really.
Big swag.
Yeah.
I'm also a very youth connected monk. So I guess some of that swag comes from there. When I look at technology, one is what can technology do? And second is what can technology do to me?
Okay.
What can technology do? In my personal case, technology can help me communicate, technology can help me travel, technology can help me create content, technology can help me do this, technology can hundreds of things.
And lead.
And lead. So it's brilliant. That's what technology can do. Now, what can technology do to me is a few questions that I need to ask. Does technology make me more distracted or focused? Is a question that I need to ask myself. If it's making me focused, more and more focused, brilliant. If it's making me more and more distracted, I don't need to quit technology, I need to redefine how to use it. Right. What does technology do to me? Is it making me more disconnected and lonely, or is it making me more connected? If it's making me more connected, brilliant. If it's making me more disconnected and lonely, I think there's a serious problem. Correct? Is technology taking away my capability because of convenience? Or is it still helping me build my capability? A GPS can think for me, an AI can write for me, you know, a server or a search engine can remember for me. And that's brilliant if I can use outsource all of those tasks to these technological contributions. But if I forget to write because AI writes for me,
Or think.
if I forget to think because GPS thinks for me, if I forget to remember because the search engines can remember everything for me, then what I've done is I've given prominence to convenience and put the capability in the background. Right? So it's a brilliant tool. And I like that term assistive intelligence. I think it's a brilliant way to say it. I think calling artificial assistive, it's absolutely assistive. But when we do not allow that to camouflage our own potential and capability, then it is assistive. If it starts taking over and we give complete control to it,
Yeah.
then we lose our capability, and all that is there is convenience, and I'm just a vegetable who can't think, who can't write, who can't speak, who can't do anything. I'm just a couch potato, sir.
Yeah.
I'm just a couch potato binging on OTT web series who can't say 2 words when I need to, who can't type a message without editing, getting it edited with an AI tool, can't write an email, can't start a conversation, can't give a talk, can't write an essay, can't prepare an assignment. I become a couch potato, a vegetable.
That's the danger.
That's the danger. So, technology, brilliant. Keep it it. And we keep it assistive. Just make sure, use AI to write. Make sure you write too. Use all these things to think. Make sure you think too. Use all these things to remember. Make sure you remember too. If that too is there, then there's no problem.
Coexist.
If that too goes away, serious problem, sir. We are creating a generation of people who just have no independent thinking abilities and
the way
things
to
on their
do
own.
that is again going back to your first sort of template and formula is pause, reflect, experiment.
Absolutely.
Is this technology pause, reflect, experiment, saying that should I go all the way with this or should I use it? What am I experimenting with?
Correct. Absolutely. And in the world, the more AI grows, sir, like all other times, when I grew up, engineering, medicine were the 2 prominent ways of getting into your careers. If you were an engineer, you were a doctor, or you were a failure. There were only 3 options we had.
Absolutely.
So, look at what happened with engineering and medicine. There's so many. And at a point in time, the same kind of opportunities that existed when I was growing up no longer exist. There's like innumerable engineering colleges, innumerable medical colleges. Everything kind of moves in circles, isn't it? And if you look at AI as well, there will come a time where you stop looking for people who do everything based on AI. That's when your RI will matter the most. Your real intelligence, not assisted by anybody. What is when AI can do everything and I'm hiring for some task? If AI can do stuff, why would I need that person? So what am I hiring him for? Not for AI abilities. I'm hiring him for his human potential. If I'm hiring him for a human potential and he's only used AI all the time, where is his human potential? So in the future, when I'm being hired, what am I being hired for? Not for AI. Not for how I can use AI. I'm going to be hired for how I am as a human. What is the potential of me that I have as a human? My leading abilities. How can I lead? How much of I am a team player? How much of I can contribute to a team? That's what will be checked. That's what will be noted. So if I don't develop that, I've become a tech savvy, I can write with AI, everything, and I'm just a couch potato. I come for an interview. The HR guy says, we don't need you, sir. Sorry. We don't need you. So I think that's what it is. So when both coexist, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. AI is magic. It's a blessing that has happened to the world. Now it's our responsibility to not turn that blessing into a curse, a boon into a bane. It's a boon.
Yes.
We are turning it into a bane. It's a blessing. We are turning it into a curse. It's our responsibility, I feel.
Let's go back to your youthful swag. So if you had to write a letter to yourself at 20, what would you say to yourself at 20?
Wow. If I were to write a letter to myself at 20...
At 21, you became a monk, so I'm still at 20.
At 20, I would say to myself only one thing, sir. You don't need everything figured out right now.
You don't need everything figured out right now, okay?
You don't. Life offers you one step. Take that step, make the best decision out of that step, learn from it, commit yourself to it, grow through it, and wait for what it connects you to next.
Don't run ahead of time.
Planning is good,
But running.
Obsession is running after ahead of time. So it's like a treasure hunt, sir. To me, life is like a treasure hunt. If there's something that's hidden at a certain point, will the person who organized the treasure hunt give me all the clues all at once? Then where's the game? What I get when I begin the game is only the first clue. I pick that clue, I work my way to that place, I find that place, I get the second clue. I find that thing, I get the third clue. I move slowly and steadily to come where I'm meant to be.
First find the first.
First, get the first.
You can't
clue
go to the 10th
right.
unless you find the
first. You can't go to the 10th, and that's what most people jump to get there. But here's what we need to get first. पहला clue मिलेगा, उससे आगे बढ़ो. I quit my HP job and came here to the ashram. I didn't come here to become a social media influencer. There was no social media then. I didn't come here to the ashram to become a star.
You were experimenting.
I didn't come to become I was experimenting. I didn't come to become a star. I didn't come here to become a speaker. I didn't come here to share this knowledge that I had with the world. I didn't come there with anything. I came here with one thing, my first love, my first clue. The universe was playing a treasure hunt with me, sir.
Wow.
I got my first clue in this inspiration. I took it. I came here and waited. Committed to myself to doing what I was doing in that clue. Gave myself to it consistently. Next clue, next clue, next clue, next clue. 2016, social media explosion. Next clue, leading from one to the other. And that's how we evolve, our meaning evolves, our purpose evolves. Not in one night, not in one day, from one point to the other. Which is why if I were to write a letter to myself at 20, I would say, you don't need everything figured out. Here's the first clue. Take it, get dedicated, develop this, grow this, wait to see what unfolds through this to take the next step.
Lovely. We have a segment which is called Know the Real Gaur Gopal Das.
Okay.
This is not rapid fire. You can take your time, which you don't need. Can we have the questions? So the first one, Know the Real Gaur Gopal Das. The one modern convenience you secretly can't live without.
My health wearable.
If your phone could talk, what would it complain about the most?
If my phone could talk, what would it complain about the most? Pick it up and call a few people. I don't call too many people. People call me. I don't call too many people. There's very few people, very few times that I call. I'm a person who believes a lot in meeting and talking in person, which is great. But then the phone would definitely complain.
Is it?
Bhai, thoda phone karo kisi ko.
My phone would complain that please you talk too much. Keep it down. The last thing that made you laugh out loud.
The last thing that made me laugh out extremely loud was somebody who sent me a video of, like an animated video of Krishna, like a baby Krishna and a deity, and the pujari. And the pujari is asking the deity of Krishna, is talking to the deity of Krishna, saying, I have all of these ornaments, which one should I put on you? And this deity of Krishna spoke back, which one will look good in front of the camera? So the pujari said to Krishna, that means even you are concerned about camera looks. And then Krishna said, Arey, they are coming to me after watching me in the reels first. So better make me look good in the reels. So I laughed out hard when I saw that. That was like, they didn't spare Krishna in this.
That's a nice one. What's the most mischievous thing young Gopal Das did ever? Young Gaur Gopal Das, most mischievous thing.
Young mischievous thing that I did ever was in a school trip.
Okay.
In a school trip, I was being teased by all of my friends. We were probably in 9th or 10th grade. And we were on a trip and we were in a market and they were all teasing me that, hey, tu kya hai yaar? Kuch kar nahi sakta hai tu.
We don't play.
I anyways don't play much. And then, kya karta hai yaar? Kya karna hai? बोला ये जो दुकान है ना इसमें से, you know, you have those keychains with chappals. Chappals like कोल्हापुरी चप्पल. से उठा के दिखा दुकान से. And I am like, I never picked anything up, never, मतलब पूरा सही करने वालों में से 55.
value system.
फैमिली में से ऐसा है ना, फैमिली से ऐसा आया. मैं बोला उठा मेरा तू क्या है, तू तो ये भी नहीं कर सकता. And then I like got all pumped up.
Really?
And one time in my life, I have to confess, I picked up that keychain. But then I can't remember whether I picked it up for them. I can't remember whether after going I put it back, or I think I may have put it back because my conscience wouldn't have allowed. But I did something way naughtier than this now. There was a gentleman, one of my television shows had come up, very popular show, and then I did this show. I was all over, right? And it was aired, and the next day I was traveling to see my mom to Dehu Road. She lives in Nigdi now. I was driving. So I wanted to use the restroom. I waited at that, what's it called? Food mall or whatever. So there I waited. And when I waited there, I came out of the restroom and I sat, and there was one gentleman said, अरे कल ही तो आपको देखे थे ना हम. वो वही है ना आप. हमसे नहीं हम नहीं हो आप. वैसे ही तो लग रहा है ना. बोला नहीं वो शायद उनका भाई होगा पता नहीं. He agreed. He agreed that it wasn't me and I went.
So you are a prankster also.
Sometimes yes sir. Sometimes yes. This brother prank I do a lot. वो मैं नहीं हूँ मेरा भाई है. वो जो देखते हैं ना मैं नहीं वो लंदन में रहता है वो सब करता है. मैं तो सीधा साधा आदमी हूँ.
Did you ever get beaten up when you were in school by your parents?
My parents?
Yeah.
I got beaten up by my dad twice, only in my life. I'm not going to tell you for what, but twice I did get slapped by my dad. And when fathers beat, in those days, fathers beat na, so that remains with you.
Yeah.
You take it very seriously. Mothers का तो थोड़ा लड्डू खाते ही रहते हैं ऐसे इधर उधर. That's not like taken too seriously. But yeah, I do remember my dad did slap me twice. Once I was in my second grade. Second I was in my 9th grade. Just twice. That's only twice my father hit me.
How do you look back at that? Do you think it was still out of love?
100%, sir. 100, absolutely 100. I don't encourage it at all today. We live in a very different world. I don't encourage that. But I do understand that it was absolutely 100% out of love. Whatever happened, happened. And the next day I saw how my dad was with me. So, absolutely 100% out of love.
When the mothers hit you, their hands start hurting.
Their hands start hurting seriously.
They complain.
They complain through that.
You sang a lot of songs, but your favorite movie dialogue? Beyond the Diwar one.
My favorite movie dialogue is that one, no, which talks about, I can't remember, I think it was Shah Rukh Khan, if I'm not wrong, which says, अगर आप कोई भी काम शिद्दत से चाहो और करो तो सारी कायनात, the whole universe will align with you to get conspire.
The universe will
conspire to get that done. So that's kind of aligns with a lot of what we've spoken about, and that's a powerful thing. I think a very powerful dialogue.
If your life had a theme song, which one would it be?
हमको मन की शक्ति देना मन विजय करे दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद की जय करे. Victory over myself first before anything else. Winning over my own inner battles. खुद की जय करे.
That's the life of a monk.
That's the life of a monk.
Wow. If you had to trade places with anyone for a day, who would it be? Trade places with someone.
If I were to trade places with someone for a day and be in their place, maybe my mom, my mother,
Nice.
Because the kind of stuff that she went through, the sacrifices she made, I understand them theoretically. Maybe I trade places and see what it means to live like her for a day.
Nice.
Her father left and she was struggling alone for a short while, and what it meant through that. All of those. I think I would love to. And that would bring me in a space of understanding so many people's lives who do that.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
The most useless advice you've ever received. I get a lot
Oh
of
God,
that.
that was, what do I say? What is the most useless advice I ever received? I don't think I did.
No?
I can't recollect anything that somebody said was so absolutely useless that I remembered. I can't. But I think I'm going to think about it a bit more when I go back.
You ask my daughter, she'll tell you every day, you know. She'll give you a big list. That one word that people overuse and misunderstand the most. So they
Love.
Love.
Love. Overuse and misunderstand the most. I love you. How much do we say to our children, spouses, partners, girlfriends, boyfriends, gurus, disciples, teams? I love you. Most overused and understood the least. Because like you say, stop just saying I love you, show it through your behavior. You know, so it's very overused and understood.
What would surprise people most if they spent a day with you?
That he's quite chill.
No, but I don't think that's surprising.
They don't think, they think I'm so chill? Okay, maybe they do. They think,
I don't think.
if they spend a whole day with me,
What would they say?
what would they be surprised with is some of the things that I do during my daily worship.
Correct. So your routine, there'll be some.
In my routine, I do a daily worship, and there are certain elements of that which they would never expect me to do. If they see them, they'll be absolutely like, he does this, he can do this. Yes, they will.
Now people will get intrigued.
They'll get intrigued, and I'm going to keep them intrigued. So we are not putting out a video of what I do then.
What's that one thing you secretly enjoy?
What is the one thing that I seek? Maybe listening to a beautiful old Bollywood song. A song that
Why secretly?
Yeah, because I don't listen to songs anyways openly. So when would I listen to a song? It's when I'm alone or when I'm by myself.
Okay, that way secretly.
So yeah, that way secretly. So probably listening to one of those songs which I thoroughly enjoy. Yeah, maybe.
It's never keep the variable aside and eat a gulab jamun secretly enjoy.
Oh sir, that happens too much. So that happens too publicly also. So that everybody is watching all the time.
A habit you are still trying to fix even today.
Stopping being very nice.
Stopping being?
Stopping to be very nice. Sometimes your niceness becomes your weakness, sir.
Acha. And that's where you said that you need to be aware.
You need to be aware, and where you need to be assertive, you need to be assertive. When you need to withdraw, you need to withdraw. Where you need to draw boundaries, you need to draw boundaries. Niceness should be a powerful strength. It should never become your weakness.
So you can't say no very easily.
It's hard to say no. It's hard to be harsh. It's hard to be insensitive directly like that.
But were you always like that?
I'm learning.
You're learning.
I'm learning, and I'm slowly trying to get better at it. Because I never intend to do this. I don't like doing it. I hate it, sir. At the same time, I know that in certain places with certain people, things can be done only that way, because otherwise things are just not going anywhere. They're just not going anywhere. I hate it. I'll tell you, I'm being very honest on camera.
I can
To the
imagine.
very core, I hate being like this. So that's something that I still struggle with. It's not easy, but trying.
But thank you for saying yes to this conversation.
No.
You know,
Always a pleasure, sir.
what is the one thing ambitious people are chasing that they don't actually need?
More.
More. Then what does be more and do more mean to you in one sentence?
Living up to the full potential that we are blessed with. The full potential that we have. There's a tank with 1,000 liters capacity and there's a tank with a 200 liters capacity. Is my 200 liters capacity tank filled to the 200 liters? I'm trying to be 1,000 when I'm only a 200. Why am I looking at the 1,000 liters tank? Have I even filled my 200 yet?
No.
That's be more and do more for me. Right?
Lovely.
To be the fullest of my potential. मेरे टंकी की कैपेसिटी में एक कण भी खाली जगह नहीं होनी चाहिए. खाली जगह क्यों है? That more is great.
Lovely.
That more is great. But the more I want, because if I look, somebody else is having, but his is 1,000 liters right now. So you don't have the space to fill in more, you'll overflow. So that's what I feel is be more.
The last one life truth you'd bet everything on. One life truth you'd bet everything on.
Being kind and sensitive to people.
Do you believe all religions point to some truth, and what is that truth then?
Getting into the depth of philosophy, we will look at that truth as we'll call that absolute truth. Some will call it God, some will call it universe, some will call it whatever different ways of looking at it. I feel whatever it is that we are following, believing that this is the truth, whatever it is that truth that I'm following, or aspect of truth that I'm following, is it making me humbler? Is it making me compassionate? Is it making me kind-hearted? Is it making me service-oriented? Or is it making me holier than thou? Or is it making me entitled? Is it making me thinking that I'm somebody who can do anything to anyone? No.
So truth is not absolute. The guideline is this.
No,
And you
I'm saying the truth. If I say that the truth is absolute, there has to be an absolute truth. There has to be an absolute truth, and that absolute truth is perceived by different individuals in different ways.
Correct.
I'm saying whatever aspect of that absolute truth someone has perceived is spiritual only if it produces these results.
Got it.
If this is the absolute truth and this is what I have perceived, my understanding of that absolute truth, I follow this in my life, it is truth and it is right and it is correct and it is spiritual only if it leads to humility, only if it leads to kindness, only if it leads to empathy, only if it leads to compassion, only if it leads to service to others. If it's leading to arrogance, if it's leading to entitlement, if it's leading to anger, if it's leading to destruction, how is that spiritual? How is that in understanding of the absolute truth? I can't see it. I can't see it. But anywhere I find it, then doesn't matter where it is. Which is why sometimes you might have an atheist to displace this. Non-religious person.
Sure.
Absolutely. In that I can still find divinity. I still see divinity there. And I can see somebody who's religious or spiritual not doing this at all. Then I'm saying, where is your spirituality? Where is the touch of divinity here? You know what I mean? So wherever there are these qualities,
Correct.
there are these virtues, we need to understand that some aspect of the absolute truth is reflected in there.
So focus on that. Don't worry
Focus
about
on
that.
that. Don't worry so much about that. That will make us live harmoniously as a humanity.
Yeah.
मानवता सर्वोपरि होनी चाहिए. Humanity has to be above everything. Above any religious differences, any spiritual affiliations, any socio-economic considerations, any political affiliations, national divisions. Humanity has to be above all of these. And when we realize that, I think, then we see that that absolute truth can be reflected in many different ways to different individuals in different cultures, in different parts of the world, which is why philosophies could be a bit different here and there, prayers could be a bit different here and there, rituals could be a bit different here and there. But if the qualities and the virtues are manifested there, then you know that that dimension of that, certain dimension of that truth is reflected here.
So thank you for showing us the
thank you very
path towards this truthful life. And it was not just a sermon, but it is truthful because you've delivered it so truthfully through your own life. And that brings a lot of authenticity to the wisdom that we've heard over the last now almost 3 hours.
Wow, I didn't even realize it was 3 hours.
And but we could have, we both are hungry. Possibly you're not. But,
We are. I am too.
I'm hungry for more, but we also need some food. But thank you again. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for the wisdom. I do understand that just shaving your head does not make a person wise. You need to live a life like you.
You're modest. I agree with the principle, but I know where you're heading to, so I am.
But thank you. Thanks for the
Thank you
wisdom.
again for having me, and my great honor and pleasure being here. Thank you. Thank you.